Welcome to the draw for the Supreme Pool Series, Supreme Masters. I'm joined by Mike.
Hello, Lee.
Hi, Mike. It's been a great event so far.
Yes, it's been fantastic, and we're only just getting started. This is the last 16 now.
This is the business end, and where all the money is, and hopefully, well, one of these will definitely be the champion, but they'll take some serious money home.
Yeah, everybody's on a payday now, so every round they get through, the increments are going up, so it's a serious sort of payday for these players in our sport.
It is. We've got the 8 names in the hat. The winners section is already fixed as the draw was done, so that stays the same. And then the loser side get drawn in to play the winner side. So it will work straight the way down. We'll place the balls on the table and you'll be able to see as we pull them out. So without further ado, let's get on with it and do the draw.
Okay. It's number 6.
Number 6, so Max Nosco will play Liam Dunster or Jimmy Croxton.
It's number 4.
Number 4, so Jack Whelan will play Yannick Bofils or Jordan Church.
Number 1.
Number 1, so Adam Davis will play Drew Hughes.
Number 5.
Number 5, so Neil Rayburn will play Phil Harrison or Clint Ianson.
Number 8.
Number 8 is Gareth Ibbott, so Sean Chipperfield will play Gareth Ibbott.
Number 7.
Number 7 is Craig Lakin, so it'd be Mick Hill versus Craig Lakin.
Yeah, I think they played the last event, didn't they? Which went to a decider.
Let's make sure we'll go with that. Number 2.
Number 2 is Tom Cousins, so that'd be Marc Farnsworth versus Tom Cousins.
More. For the formalities. I know there's only one left, that's good news. Number 3.
Number 3 is Rob Warren, so that'll be Craig Marsh versus Rob Warren.
Well, that concludes the draw for the last 16. Some cracking matches there. They're all going to be tough at this stage.
Yeah, this stage is really...
Any that stand out for you?
Well, I guess like Mick Hill, Craig Lakin, that's going to be... we've just seen Craig come off the stream straight away. He's a very entertaining player. I don't think he's going to be too intimidated by Mick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say they played the last event?
They played the last event, he went to the deciding final.
Well, there we go, there's evidence. I don't think Craig's going to change his style of play, so that's going to be a very entertaining game against a tournament favourite. And could there be an upset? Could he redeem himself after last month's event?
You never know. I mean, one thing that's been brought to my attention, I'm not from the black ball side of the rules, we've just been seeing that a player's doing the 2-point breaking rule, that is a rule in black ball rules.
Okay, yeah.
But he's sort of manipulating the rules so the front ball goes in, the pack stays together.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So, from a tournament organiser point of view, we're trying to promote the game.
Yeah,
and,
sure. Yeah.
If we were on the stream or trying to promote that, that's not the image that we want.
Of course.
So, rule 1 of black ball rules is, and the game should be played sportingly.
Sure.
As a tournament director, that is not how I want the series to be portrayed.
Okay.
So, we have brought in the 3-point rule from that match and from now on in every black ball event.
Okay, sure.
So we want to be open, we want to be attacking, we want the rules to be secondary and just promote the players in the game.
Yeah, sure.
And that's why I made the decision, and some people might not like it, but my job is to protect the series and we're promoting pool. So that's that done. Thanks very much for the help.
No problem, Lee.
We will get on at 11 o'clock with the last 16 and some great matches, and we'll get some player interviews for you as well. Thank you very much.
rather in here or in there, I'm not fussed. I don't mind if you'd rather do in here.
Okay, welcome back everybody to the Players Pool and Snooker Lounge in Stoke-on-Trent. Here we go then, this is the business stages of action at the 2018 Supreme Masters, Event 3 of this year's Supreme Pool Series. It's now straight knockout single elimination. We started off with 128 players from the UK and beyond. We're now down to 16. Who's going to take the £13,000 first prize this evening? So we're going to begin our action in the last 16. What a humdinger of a match this is. It's going to be between Marc Farnsworth and Tom Cousins. If you haven't been watching the action with us this weekend, A, where have you been? And B, it's black ball rules. All the matches now from here on in are going to be races to 11, so you might have seen some matches throughout the last couple of days that have been first to 8. Those are the loser section now. The tournament is effectively being reset. And now it's a 16-man knockout competition. Like I say, nearly £30,000 worth of prize money is going to be dished up today. So Mark's won the lag and he's going to break. What an amazing match this is. It plans to be. So a crunching break there from Marc Farnsworth. See, quite a lot of the balls have managed to go up into the bulk area. We're live on multiple platforms this weekend. We're obviously on Facebook. We're streaming live in a couple of groups. The Beard Productions page. We're also shared that to the Players Pool Events page as well. Coincidentally, if you not follow either one of those pages, please go over to Facebook and give us a like. We're also on Twitter for this event on Periscope, so if you're on Twitter, you can watch us that way. We are using the hashtag Supreme Pool Series on Twitter, so if you are on that form of social media, we'd really appreciate it if you could use that hashtag. And obviously we're streaming live on YouTube, the Beard Productions YouTube channel, where we're streaming 4 matches at the same time. So this is obviously the main match that we're focusing on here, but there are 3 other tables that we're streaming elsewhere in the arena next door. So you see in the background there, past that beautiful trophy, whoever's going to lift that tonight, there are 7 other tables in action. Just quickly sort of run down the last 16. We had 1 round of losers qualification this morning. Then we done the draw. The other last 16 matches are Craig Marsh versus Rob Warren. Mick Hill, the tournament favourite, against Craig Lakin. Sean Chipperfield against Gareth Hibbert. In fact, Sean's the first player to put a frame up. He's 1-0 up on Gareth. Neil Rayburn against the Strachan Cup champion Phil Harrison, who's come through an absolute gauntlet of players to get to this stage. Phil actually lost his opening game on Friday, so was immediately pushed into the losers section. And I think on that losers section he's had to beat players like Roland McCarthy, Darren Appleton, Chris Menon and Clint Ianson, and that's all on the losers sections. That's just get back to level pegging. It's like I say, Phil's playing Neil Rayburn, who come through the winner's side. Adam Davis is playing Drew Hughes of Wales. Jack Whelan's playing Yannick Beaufils of France. And Max Nosko has taken on Jimmy Croxton. And Jimmy Croxton's actually taken the first frame in that match as well. So like I say, throughout the match we will try and keep you updated with those results. But if you want to keep an eye on them yourself, you can do. If you want to head over to qscore.com and search for the Supreme Masters, you'll be able to see all the latest score lines and the results across the weekend. Each table is equipped with tabs where the players update the score lines in between frames, so they should be the most up-to-date score lines possible. Hello everybody in chat boxes. We've got Scott and Craig. Hope you're enjoying the stream, lads. We are having to be a little bit quiet with the commentary because we're quite close to the table, and it is a bit quieter on the Sunday, so you won't feel the full force of my booming voice, I guess. Somebody's asked if it's if the event is now sort of redrawn every round. It's not. We got to the last 16 stage, which the 16 players were made up of 8 from the winners section, 8 from the losers section. The 8 winners were fixed into the draw already on Q Score, and then we randomly drew the 8 players who come through the losers section to play them. But the draw is now fixed, so if you do go over to Q Score, that is the actual sort of natural draw. I think, by memory, Mick Hill, Farnsworth, Marsh, I think they're all in the bottom half of the draw. But, you know, at this stage anyway, everybody's a fantastic player, so it should be great action from here on in. So anyway, going back to the action on this table, obviously Mark broke, but a lot of the balls went up the table and it didn't offer the most straightforward of clearances, so just jockeying for position at the minute.
10 seconds.
You hear the referee there. He's given a countdown. So after 5, when they get to 5 seconds, you will hear the referee count down. The players are warned at 10 seconds, and players have 45 seconds a shot, and they are permitted to 1 30-second extension. Okay, I'm delighted to be joined in the commentary box by the King himself, Mike King. Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Good morning, mate. What a tie this one is.
It's a cracker, isn't it? I see you had a couple of really good results this weekend, didn't you? Really?
Yeah, and then I've run up to 2 absolute animals. That I lost to Liam Dunster last night. He's unbelievable, isn't he? Very tough to play against.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a phenomenal player, especially tactically.
Oh yeah, especially these rules. These are his.
And obviously Mark, who's playing now, I was 3-1 up, and the next time I put my hand on the cloth, I was 9-3 down. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, we were looking at the score lines. We saw you 3-1 up, and all of a sudden, Mark, I think he opened up, didn't he?
Yeah, this will be a tough game for Tom.
How do you see this? Obviously, it looks as if Tom is going to win the first frame. How do you see this?
Well, the thing with Tom is, I've obviously got a lot of respect for Tom. I probably see him play a lot more than most Blackpool players do. His break is the best break I've ever seen.
Yeah,
consistently. I mean, I don't know if the shark rack does bring other players into it, possibly, but Tom's break makes him so tough to beat. I make him favourite against pretty much everyone except Mick, but that's gone wrong. Yeah. He's going to have to play a shot now. I don't think it passes the red to the top corner.
I think that's... well, he's having a good look, but that looks tight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the our on-site bookmaker, he priced Mark up as the 8-11 favourite, but I think this is a...
Yeah, it's a 5 to 6 a pair game, this one, isn't it? The lineup of the last 16 here is literally everybody you expect apart from Melling and Appleton, from what I would, without trying to be disrespectful to anyone if I've missed them, but it literally is the who's who of pool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Phenomenal lineup. Well, it did go.
It did go. That's a great shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's, Tom has managed to get back on track this frame, and the simplest of blacks to open a 1-0 lead.
Red, Tom Cousins.
There's not really needle between pool players, but if there is going to be any, there's potentially some here, isn't there? Because there's been talk for
There's a
ages
subplot, isn't
about a
there?
money
Yeah.
game between these two. I think Mark laid down his terms, a race to 50 over a couple of days, or possibly.
I remember when Tom played Mark Boyle, the 2 matches. I remember Marc Farnsworth saying, "Well, I'll play the winner,"
Yes,
sort of thing.
yeah.
So I think that's in the pipeline. I think this might just spice it up.
Yeah, this could definitely add to that, couldn't it?
So we'll just quickly have a look at the scores elsewhere in the arena next door. Craig Marsh has opened up. He's 1-0 up against Rob Warne. Mick Hill was 2-0 up on Craig Lakin, so obviously tournament favourite. Sean Chipperfield, Gareth Hibbert, they're wasting no time. They're already 2 frames all. Phil Harrison's leveled it up against Neil Rayburn. That's 1-1. Former world champion Adam Davis is 1-0 up on Wales's Drew Hughes. And France's Yannick Beaufils, himself a world championship finalist in the past. He's 1-0 up on Jack Whelan. And Jimmy Croxton is 1-0 up on Max Nosgo. Max has done well this weekend, hasn't he?
I was just about to say, look at that. I must be right in saying he's the best non-elite now, guaranteed, isn't he? Looking at those names. Or is Drew Hughes? Was Drew Hughes a possible non-elite? I'm not
That's
sure.
something I need to find out, because there is a separate prize for the best performing non-elite if people aren't aware. So,
yeah. And also the Calcutta prize
and
as
the
well.
Calcutta,
Because
yeah.
I do believe Max has bought in on half of himself.
Wow.
So if he is the best non-elite, it might not. Well, he's definitely bought something of himself. I'm not sure if it's half or a
He's
small
invested
percentage,
somewhere,
but he's
yeah.
invested somewhere. So,
Wow, so,
fantastic result for him. And also, it's not a big thing, but obviously Max is a bit of a lad's lad, isn't he? But this weekend he's brought his daughter,
Yes,
and it's
I think
obviously
that,
worked for him
yeah.
because he's taken it a lot more sensible. He's not out drinking, and he's played phenomenal pool every time I've seen him play this weekend.
It's interesting because we kind of associate Max more as a money match player.
Yeah.
But obviously he's a very accomplished tournament player.
Yes.
Maybe that's something we'll see a bit more of him in the future.
I think because he plays so many money games, he's renowned as a money match player, isn't he? But he's had some big tournament results, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He won the Savannah double dare, didn't he?
Yeah,
I believe.
exactly. So
He's definitely got to the quarterfinals here in the amateur version a couple of times before they opened it up.
So
He's a fantastic player.
definitely an all-rounder. So anyway, whilst I've been sort of blabbering on, Thomas, I think it was his break when he crunched the break. And
Yeah, but his break
absolutely.
his break is, like I've said before, is the best I've seen consistently.
Just got to mind it. Yeah, that's a nice shot there, isn't it? Just getting beyond the black, and well, it's going to be 2-0 to Tom Cousins.
The thing with Tom's break is he generates so much power, but he doesn't lose control of the cue ball. He doesn't stunning off or screwing off or anything that other players do when they blast them.
We were talking. It'd be interesting to see what a top player like yourself thinks about the rack in terms of. We were talking about with a few players about. I think it was on Friday, speaking to Dave Fernandez about the rack, and we were talking about perhaps some of the top players who don't break that well, and he sort of named like Ronan McCarthy, Marc Farnsworth. Perhaps they're not the best breakers necessarily. And we're saying that the Supreme racket perhaps is a leveler for them.
100%, because I know, Mark's been number one on the IPA tour, I think, for years and years now, but he's renowned for being a poor breaker.
Yeah.
If he probably wouldn't mind me saying that. It's not disrespectful.
Yeah.
His weakest part of his game is his break.
Yeah.
But against me yesterday, he made a ball off every break and never fouled once.
Yeah.
So it's a huge leveler for him, where I would say Tom and Mick's break is streets ahead of everyone's without the rack.
Yeah.
If this tournament didn't have the sharp rack, you would probably, bookies wise, enforce their odds a bit. They'd be a bit more closer, So it definitely does bring that into play. It's everyone's opinion. I mean, for me, the sharp rack, I do find it fiddly when the balls are on there, because it does make a difference. You do need it removed as soon as possible. But then the flip to that is, that every break is fair, isn't it? Everyone is having the same.
I think another point we're sort of looking at is somebody, I can't remember who it was, said they actually were taking a little bit off on what they would usually make, because they can then control the cue ball a little bit better, because you don't need to hit them so hard. So I guess that's another advantage possibly. But anyway, a chance to see Mark's break there, and he's hit them well there, hasn't he? And they've opened up, but unfortunately hasn't found a ball.
And if the yellow along the back rail does pass the two reds, it'll be yellows. If not, then he's going to have to, well, to be reds, he's going to have to play a cannon or two, but I don't think that yellow does pass down the road, does it, between the two reds?
No, that looks...
If it did, he would like to be yellows because he doesn't need to move anything, does he?
No. Perhaps he's got options. There's a few balls sort of in close proximities, and then perhaps he's got a few options to move it if he wanted to.
Mm.
So, come on then, Mike. Who's your money on then? Who do you think Mick
and
will?
Until he loses, your money's always got to be on Mick, isn't it? He's best I've seen, best I've played against as well, unfortunately.
Phenomenal. I mean, he's talked about this weekend that he's got an injured neck and everything, and I'm not saying he's not, but he's still won all his games fairly comfortably. He's won with a fair few frames in the bag.
Did you watch much of the last event? I mean, I know he could have lost a couple of times, but how he lost to Phil was the only way you can imagine him losing, where he doesn't make a ball off any of his breaks.
Well, it was like the stars were aligned when he couldn't put a ball off the break, and then Phil was making balls and was so clinical himself, and he was punishing Mick. So, because we another thing we touched on during the weekend was saying, not to say that the top players are protected, but we're saying with like a double elimination qualifying system, for someone to beat Mick, Mick needs to be beaten twice before he gets last. That takes some doing, doesn't it?
That was the counter argument when people were saying that he went for silly money in the first Calcutta, and my counter argument to that was, well, I've known of Mick play possibly 6 or 7 events in the last 3 years since I've really been playing pool, and he's won every single one except he didn't win the Masters once, where he lost to Josh Kane 8-7, who went on to win the event. But he won the Dunbuck Challenge twice. He's won the World Championships twice. And something
UK
else,
tours,
UK tours or whatever. So for him to lose twice in the same event, it is hard to see that happening.
That's a really good point, actually, when you look at
it. So when he was going for that crazy money in the Calcutta, I was one of the ones saying, well, actually, you're getting a good investment for your money.
Yeah.
To see him lose twice would be rare. And it's proof so far. I mean, the last event, he would have got most of your money back, wouldn't he, for getting to the semi-final?
Yeah.
I think this one, if he makes a semi-final, you make money this time, because he only went for $7,000 this time, I believe.
Certainly added another dimension to things, isn't it, the Calcutta? So Tom tried to just cover up that top left-hand pocket, but didn't quite grab it perfectly, and now.
But it may in a weird way benefit him, because it's forcing Mark to go for these, and they're not easy at all, are they?
Do you find with we know you predominantly as a World Rules player, do you find when you play black ball, if you're on a clearance, you're kind of committed if you're on a clearance, because perhaps there's a little less leverage to play?
And also that the punishment is so severe for not getting the finish and leaving 1 or 2 balls left, isn't it? In World Rules, you can be a bit clever and fight your way back into the frame with a good deliberate foul. But I think once you pop 5 or 6 of black ball, if you don't get them, you've lost against anyone that's any good.
Yeah. Especially at this level as well.
I'll be intrigued to see what these Supreme rules are like when I finally get to play them, because everyone says they're even more attacking again, I believe.
Yeah, I've only like skimmed through them. I need to have a sort of look at them myself. But with the £51,000 on the line in December, I guess that's something the players are going to have to practice and certainly do some studying on over the next few months.
Well, there is an event. Kenny's putting on an event November the 3rd up here. £50 a man for anyone that wants to enter it that hasn't played the rules before.
Are you in that?
Yeah, I've entered, but then my worry is when you play in good players, you don't necessarily find out the rules, do you? Because if the balls are splitting open and it's just a dish fest.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you have to put a lot more time in than just the one event to learn them. But
I think Mark can get to the angle here to play the plant. To play the plant, and then it would open everything up. No, he's that's no good.
It was a tough shot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
very tough shot.
But again, that was evidence his kind of hand was forced a bit. Then he kind of had to go for it.
You almost feel as if Tom just makes his first ball and it's 3-0.
I think he can cut this yellow in. I know it looks a bit deceiving, but I think he might be able to chop this into the bottom right
The,
pocket. Yeah.
the beauty of the rules, I'm not sure he's going to go close to knocking anything in anyway, but you can just concentrate on the pot here, can't you?
Yeah.
Because the cue ball can travel and you don't need to worry about knocking the ball in. It's
And the only thing that can go wrong is if the
Is it-
cue ball
yeah.
goes in or the black. But
So his only really tough positional shot, it would just be making sure he gets on the one on the back rail.
sure.
And as long as he's not straight, you can't foresee any problems here, can you? You might even leave it along the rail in off the other yellow.
Somebody in the chat box asking about has Mick Hill played Lakin? Martin, they're playing in the other arena as we speak now.
I commentated on that game in the last event, and Craig nearly beat Mick.
yeah.
It was a fantastic
Kenny was
game,
saying,
possibly the best game I've watched up here.
Really?
In the 5-6 events I've been coming, it was phenomenal standard, and Craig was really unlucky. So he knows he can give him a game, and Craig won't be frightened of anyone, will he? You know what he's like.
That's exactly what we said to him in the interview. He said, well, he's not going to change his game.
No, he's one of the few characters you believe could beat Mick, because he won't be too phased while playing him.
And I love watching Craig play because
Yeah,
he's so open and aggressive. He's entertaining.
There's a certain select group of players, isn't there? You've got Sean Chipperfield, Darren McVicker, Craig Lakin, those sort of players.
Like a Jordan Shepherd.
Yeah, Jordan Shepherd is another one as well. You could just watch them all day long, couldn't you? It's so good to watch.
So anyway, Tom is just sort of minding his work here, and he's gone into a 3-0 advantage here. So Tom's sitting pretty at the minute. We'll just have a quick look at the scores elsewhere. So Craig Marsh is now 3-0 up on Rob Warm. Mick Hill has apparently gone 4-0 up on Craig Lakin. So Mick's, despite all of his issues with his neck, he's going very strong. A player we've just mentioned, Sean Chipperfield, he's not wasting any time. He's 5-2 up on Gareth Hibbert. Neil Raybone 2-1 up on Phil Harrison. Just a quick mention of Phil Harrison. Harrison won our last event last month, the Strachan Cup. He lost his opening game on Friday afternoon, so was pushed to the loser's side. He's won 6 matches in the loser's side. And among those 6 games, he played Ronan McCarthy, Darren Appleton, Chris Mellon, Clint Jansen. I mean, that's ridiculous just to get back to the...
Well, the bloke's an absolute disgrace, and he's a joke. But I believe he was 1-25 on with the Irish bookmaker. I saw that in his opening match that he did lose, which was crazy odds, because Darryl Whitworth is a UK Tour Premier League player.
Yeah.
So someone that can qualify, to get on that UK Tour, you've got to finish in the top 12 of the rankings, I believe,
so
over a year. So you're a top player to be able to do that. The bookie was offering 1-25 Phil and 10-1 Darryl. So I do hope Darryl had a couple quid in himself at least, because in a race to 11, nobody should be 10-1 at that level.
No,
but like you said, who Phil's gone on to beat after is winning the tournament in itself, isn't it?
And I know Gareth is 5-2 down to Sean Chipperfield, but Gareth Hibbert lost his opening game. He's come through the losers section, and he played his first losers match on the stream table against Joe Prince, and Joe missed the black to beat him 8-7.
Did he?
And I remember thinking at the time, I wonder if he might be free rolling that.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. Me, myself, Shane Thompson, Greg Batten had exactly the same conversation in the car on the way up, that very rare does anyone win an event that they shouldn't have maybe lost at some stage before they go on to win it.
Yeah,
it's very rare you see someone, do what potentially Mick or Tom could do this weekend. Well, Tom has lost to someone actually, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But it's very rare that someone just goes and doesn't get contested at some point where they might have been eliminated. And Tom nearly lost to could have lost to Callum Singleton last night. That was quite a tight affair.
And his opening match against Declan Brennan, Declan missed the black at 10-all.
It was the only bad shot. Well, not bad. It was the only ball missed in the entire match by Declan. He played fantastic ball. Yeah, but it shows you the level of this event, doesn't it? People that not everybody may know at home are all top players.
So Mark's got himself into a good position here.
Yeah, a very rare dry break as well by Tom, isn't it? So Mark definitely needs to capitalise on these, because you don't get too many chances to break back.
I apologise if you're leaving messages in the chat box. We've got a number of chat boxes on a number of tables, so we can't keep up to date with all the comments, but we'll try if we can. A few people sort of asking where this is. This is at the Players Pool and Snooker Lounge, just outside Stoke-on-Trent. One sort of reoccurring theme, I think that sort of go around social media is the issue with that there's been an instance in this event about like tap breaking.
I had it firsthand last night.
You had it?
I was 5-5 with Liam Dunster, and he was fully aware of my inexperience of Blackball rules, so he started tap breaking.
Oh, right, okay.
And literally 2 balls were coming out of the pack. If he didn't make a ball, it would have been a foul break.
Yeah.
But all the times
So
that he did do it, he made one ball.
Shot, okay.
He's made a legal shot, and then the next 35, 40 minutes was just chipping a ball out the pack one at a time until someone could make a colour.
Sure.
And don't get me wrong, I said this to him after. I said, as much as it wound me right up and got on my nerves, it was a brilliant tactic on his part, because you're here to win at the end of the day.
Of
so
course,
he done what he needed to do to ensure he won, and it worked, because he did go on to win the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is something that if you're trying to sell the sport to TV, or you want big sponsors to get involved, that would be a rule that would need to be looked at, because there would be no place for that if it was on TV.
Yeah, I think I'll play sort of devil's advocate, because people are trying to get me to have an opinion on it. I don't think anybody's to blame. Everyone's got it. I mean, I can understand why Lee would want to put a rule in to stop that, and I can understand, like you say, why Liam would do that to obviously win the game. So I'm not going to, thankfully I'm not on the tournament committee to make those rule changes, but I can certainly see Lee Kendall, and like you say, if we're going to sell the sport, and you know, we're going to we want to promote this and make this bigger, it needs to be entertaining, and easy to understand for sort of non-pool public out there. But
I mean if you'd have watched the last 3 frames of our match last night, you wouldn't have wanted it on the stream. It was very scrappy, cagey frames. But like you said, the counter flip to that argument was at 5-5. Liam wants to make sure he wins the match, and you do anything you can at that stage to make sure you can win, don't you? So while the rule's in place and it's a legal break, if I was him and I had his knowledge and skill set, I would do the same thing. Yeah. But moving forward, it's definitely something that you don't want to see.
And we're playing for a lot of money this weekend.
Yes,
this is big for our sport. So you're going to do everything you can to win. So Sean Chipperfield's he's over halfway there against Gareth, but he's now 6-2 up. Neil Raybone's taking a 3-1 advantage over Phil Harrison. Max Noz goes 2-all with Jimmy Croxton.
You can see why Mark's taking his time. There's nothing straightforward about this at all, is
very messy up and
5, 4, 3.
I'll try and sort of answer some of the questions. Someone's asked who Shepherd has got. I presume they mean Jordan Shepherd, but Jordan actually lost in the losers qualifying round. So Jordan's actually...
I believe he lost to Marc Farnsworth last night.
Yeah, lost to Mark last night.
A really good game that was.
So Mark just tucking things up there. Somebody asking, is there betting possible in this comp? The official betting is actually only on site for this event. So if you did want to bet, Stephen, you would need to contact somebody, somebody actually in the venue, so they could put the bet on for you. I know there are other people who are doing betting, but the official sort of betting is on site for this event with Jed Ronan. Someone asking about why change the rule mid-tournament. I can't really answer that, Lee. Like I say, I'm not part of the tournament, but I can understand why.
Has the rule changed, does it?
I think Lee's introduced it now, I think.
Ah, right. I wasn't aware of that. That makes sense why that's been mentioned.
So. Although, ironically, now Liam's out, that's probably not going to come into play anyway.
I'm guessing there must have been some sort of complaint maybe last night. Then it certainly wasn't by me. I never got around to bringing it up until you mentioned it just a minute ago.
No, I think it was Liam's last match. Was it against James Coxon? I don't think anybody brought it up. I think it was seen.
Right, okay.
And then the tournament committee have sort of stepped in, so nobody's said anything at a turn. But the tournament committee have obviously decided to change it.
Yeah, I'm not against that, if I'm honest. I think this event is the biggest event Poole has ever had.
Yeah.
You want everything going in the right direction, don't you? We've got the best stream in the world. One of the best commentators now. I'm doing it with you.
Of course.
No, but you want everything for the game. You want it, sell it, don't you, to the right people.
Yeah.
I think that moving forward is a good decision. Obviously, as you've mentioned, it's not really going to come into play now, probably, now that Liam is out of the event, because I'm not sure any of the 16 players left of that type of players, are they, that would resort to that?
No, I mean, you've got someone like, I actually really like watching Yannick play. We know how calculating and, I'm not going to use the word slow, but he uses the stop clock quite, he wears that out.
Methodical, I think is the word you're looking for.
But I actually quite like watching Yannick because he's quite sort of mesmerising the way he sort of goes around the table and conducts himself.
We can see on the other table, Adam Davies got a tricky black long rail for 2-2.
Yeah, obviously
which he's made.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Adam Davis there. That's another one of the tables that we're streaming. So if you want to go over to the Beard Productions YouTube channel, you can have a look at the 3 other games that are on the stream. Obviously, the this tack break issue, everybody's sort of talking about in all the chat boxes. I think everybody has a great, there's great opinions sort of being said on the chat boxes, so I'm not agreeing with you or disagreeing with you at all, so I can understand everybody's sort of opinion. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, but it's happened now, so let's just get on with the tournament. We've got some fantastic pool to look forward to today.
Yeah. Well, this game's as big as it gets, but there's potential bigger games in this to come, isn't there?
Yeah, I think
everybody's been waiting to see if at some stage Tom and Mick play each other, haven't they? That's the game.
And they're both in the bottom half of the draw.
Yeah,
so
that's the game that I've been waiting to see for a long time. Probably Tom is arguably the current best player in the world before Mick's comeback, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Mick's obviously maybe the greatest of all time, so it'll be an intrigue. And
Tom won the World Championship back to back, didn't he?
Yes.
2 years running, so.
And he won. I know every tour's different because of the split, but he did win 3 UK tours in a row last year, which,
isn't it?
with the level of players on there, it's unbelievable.
I will just say one more thing someone said about in the chat box about how they love to see a tactical frame. I do too as well.
Yeah.
If we just broke the balls and cleared up every time, it would be quite sort of, well, not boring, but quite repetitive. So I love world rules. I love black ball rules. It doesn't bother me. I just love watching and playing pool. So I love a good tactical frame because it's like a game of chess.
Yes, definitely.
I think possibly the problem with that, when you've got the real long frames, if we're, like you say, trying to sell it to the sport, that could be quite confusing to the non-playing public, but that's another discussion. But as a player, I don't mind.
Well, I remember a very similar debate. Do you remember watching the snooker last season where, I'm not sure if it was Mark Williams, I believe it was Mark Williams, had a frame where somebody's missed the black and then it's resorted to everyone chipping the reds over towards the black, and then they're surrounding the pocket.
I think it was against Liam Highfield. Actually.
Yeah, and it went. And there was 2 examples. There was one with Liam Highfield where I think Liam Highfield knocked the ball in, but there was another one where they played for about 55 minutes before having the re-rack, and then they eventually called the re-rack, and there was a lot of backlash on social media asking why the ref didn't step in before. Yeah. Nobody wants to watch that sort of thing. Yeah. But it's rare anomalies, isn't it? That's a one-off in 5-6 years of snooker. You probably won't see that frame ever again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So everybody does like to see a good tactical frame every now and then. What we're trying to avoid is seeing it frame after frame after frame.
That's a good point. Yeah,
and
that's a really good point.
What I think they're trying to avoid with the eliminating the tap break, because you can still get a cagey tap. This frame here, between 2 of the best players in the world, has been very cagey and tactical. And Mark's come out on top and found his opening, and now he's going to possibly take a good finish.
You know,
that's what you want to see.
Exactly. And that's a really, really good point, actually, Mike. So it looks as if Mark's got a foothold in this frame. He just needs to obviously make sure he's going to have an angle to get down to the red, to the bottom half of the table. Yeah, this looks good.
It's a lovely shot.
Yeah. Yep, so Mark's responded to Tom's fast start, so he's got this black to reduce his arrears to 3-2. Yep, Mark safely puts that black away.
Marc Farnsworth.
Just a very quick, we've mentioned how this is the most lucrative event of the year so far, not just in this series, but English pool as a whole. The winner this evening is going to take home £13,000. Runner-up £5,000. Everybody now in the last 16 is guaranteed a payday. They're on £375, but the increments at least double. Reaching the quarterfinals, they're guaranteed £1,000.
Plus any investments in the Calcutta as well, isn't there, if anyone is involved?
Yeah, and yeah, as you say, Mike, the Calcutta has added another dimension to it
It's
as
amazing.
well, isn't it?
Absolutely fantastic. I think this one is £75,000 in the pot for this one. I believe quarterfinals is around £3,800 if your player makes there. So I believe only Mick went for more than £3,800. I think the next two were, I think, Phil and Tom.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think
went
Tom,
for about 3-3, 3-2, something like that.
I'm looking at some of the players left in. There's some bargains. I'm not sure what Sean went for, because I think Sean went for pretty much value. I think.
Yes.
I think,
A lot of those players there, you're looking probably between the £1,000 to £2,000 mark.
Yeah.
And then they're going to treble your investment with a free go at the quarterfinals, aren't they?
So Tom's crunched those.
Tom has dry broke twice, which is very rare. You even see one. Ideally, he would love to be reds here, but unfortunately, his opening pot is not guaranteed. He certainly would like to be reds, though. He could maybe try and cut the red in the middle, the red closest to the black, but he's got no control of the cue ball, really. He'll be cannon into the yellow.
Yeah.
But they're the better choice of colour, aren't they? Because if you take yellows, you've got the problem yellow down the rail. Yeah.
So yeah, he's taking your shot, Mike.
Well, he's managed to avoid the gap and he's played that nicely. He's going to have to find another one now.
We've been saying on sort of commentary all weekend to people who might be sort of new to English 8 ball about how the top players are quite reluctant to go into balls unless they have to, because they're so good that they can back themselves.
I think that's the biggest skill that you notice between the elite sort of 8-10 players in the world to someone like myself, or the level of that, is they don't really take any risk with positional play. It is a last resort cannon into anything. Where I suppose maybe if I'm going to give a reason for it, is from a snooker background. You're used to playing a lot of cannons and stuff. Off the black. So I do play a lot of cannons, but you obviously bring a lot of risk with that. Where it's very rare you'll see Tom or Mick even play a cannon at all. If a ball's on a rail, they're happy to leave it there and just get on the ball down the rail, or leave a double if they have to.
I think one of the people, when I was first starting, certainly where we are from, was watching Jason Twist, the way he goes about
Yes.
cricket, and I thought I remember watching him several times, thinking, well, why has he done that? But he was fantastic. His positional play was bang on, spot on.
Yeah.
And,
well, I think from our area, the closest to that is Greg Batten with his positional
Yeah,
play. He plays the same sort of way with that, doesn't he? His cue ball is so tight that he doesn't play cannons and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely what the top boys bring to it that, that maybe the level below don't do.
And obviously, whenever they do have to go into a ball, it's a very controlled way
Yeah.
that they're going into. It's a controlled aggression, or it's a calculated risk.
You a big fan of the change to the shot clock for the arena and stream tables?
I am, yeah, because we go back to what we're saying about about selling the sport, and we want people to tune in and.
I much prefer this. The one extension per frame.
Yeah,
45 seconds.
That's more than
fair. Plenty time.
I was about to say that. So, we see quite a lot of the players this weekend. They've used their extension straight away after the break, just to have a look at it and think how they go, and then not necessarily the 30 shots for the next shot. It's actually the clearance as a whole. So. So Mark put himself in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, he's played it lovely.
That's a good shot. Yeah, nice shot there from Mark. And when the top players do get in trouble, they most of the time they're able to sort of get themselves out of it, aren't they?
So Tom, without really doing anything wrong, has gone from 3-0 up to 3-0. He's spent most of the time sat in his chair.
Two dried breaks. Yep, so Marc Farnsworth completes the rack there, and he's levelled the match up at 3 frames all.
Field.
So we'll just give you a quick roundup of what's going on elsewhere in the arena. Max Nosco's gone 4-2 up, so Max isn't finished quite yet in this tournament. No. Jack Whelan's taken a 5-1 lead over Yannick. Drew Hughes is 3-1 up on Adam Davis. Phil Harrison's turned it around against Neil Rayburn. He's now 4-3 up. Sean Chipperfield. We were talking about how entertaining he is. He's motoring away from Gareth Ibbott, two former world champions in their own sort of disciplines there. Mick Hill, tournament favourites, 5-2 up on Craig Lakin. And Craig Marsh is 5-2 up on Rob Warne.
Yeah, I was there firsthand to watch Chipperfield when he won his world title. He was unbelievable.
Well, it was like he's playing down the pub, wasn't it?
Yeah, and literally, the matches were race to 8s, and he was completing matches in 20 minutes.
It was.
I've never seen nothing like it.
And it was funny because I was speaking to Cleve in the commentary yesterday. He said he was there at Blackpool for that event, and he said that Sean, as we know, come through as a qualifier. He entered a qualifier initially, like weeks before at Great Yarmouth, and he lost 5-0. So he'd lost in the qualifier, but he brought back in like a local qualifier, sort of around Norwich, like Norwich Riley's, maybe something like that. And then he's come through. I don't know how many rounds he had to go through.
Well, he would have won. He would have won 3 or 4 matches just to get into the draw for the last 64, because you get 32 seeds from the different countries plus the 8-seeded players that make the last 64. So you'd have had to win 3 or 4 matches just to get into that draw.
So last 64, that's 6 games then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So plus the games he won in the qualifier.
Yeah.
So
he's possibly won 11 or 12 matches, maybe, at least. But it wasn't that. He didn't even really get given a game. He didn't have what we spoke about earlier about an 8-7 win where someone may have missed a ball to beat him. He just battered everyone. It was 8-1s. Even the final, I think he beat Carl Sutton something like 11-5, 11-6.
And Carl at the time, I think he was like the European champion.
Carl at the time had beaten Mick and Phil back to back in the quarterfinals and semis, so went into the match very confident. And he was on the back of winning the European title as well. He won the European title in February, I believe, and the Worlds was in June. So Carl was, a big favourite going. Well, I wouldn't say a big favourite, but he was certainly favourite going into that final.
Yeah. That's a nice shot there from Mark.
He's settled right into this match now, hasn't he?
What we were saying about the beauty of this series is we're getting players who are from both like sides of the fence, as it were, and that, for example, like might not be the best of examples because obviously Darren Appleton's been playing 9 for the last sort of 10 years, but Darren Appleton played Craig Marsh yesterday, and it's the first time they've ever played a competitive English 8-ball match, and that's what this series is like. Games like this, like Farnsworth, Cousins, they both play different disciplines, different tours, different events, but we're getting a chance to see them over a long distance in great conditions.
You don't get to see these games unless they were to play each other for money, which is very few and far between. I mean, when was the last time Mark played a money game? I know Tom played Mark Boyle twice, but I can't think of the last time he played before that.
Exactly, yeah.
Mark Farnsworth doesn't get many money games, does he? So bringing up ties like this is what it's all about, isn't it?
He's going to have to be a little bit precise here, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a degree of difficulty to it.
On the other stream table, Adam Davies just about to pull one back, 4-3 behind to Drew Hughes. Played that lovely. It's almost where he would have put it with his hand.
Yeah,
that's the cue ball up.
That's very precise. Yeah, well, this has been this black for a 4-3 lead. So this match has definitely turned around Tom. Tom was won the opening 3 frames, and Marc has responded with 4 of his own, so he's now taking the lead 4-3 up. So there we've got on the screen the other games that are going on in the arena next door. Craig Marsh is now 4-2 up on Rob Warm.
I thought Chipperfield was 8th. Did we not see he was 8th? He's 9-3.
Oh, that's updated
it's
now.
Just
yeah.
updated.
So so Craig Marsh now 5-2 up. Mick Hill is over halfway there. He's 6-2 up on Craig Lakin. As you say, Sean Chipperfield is, you know, he's not playing Joe Nobody. He's playing Gareth Hibbert, and he's again. Chipperfield again. I don't think he's a player who's going to change his style of play, whoever he faces. So Phil Harrison's taking the lead against Neil Raybone. Drew Hughes is 4-3 up on Adam Davis. Jack Whelan's got a 3-frame advantage over Yannick Beaufils, and Max Noss goes 4-2 up on Jimmy Croxton.
I believe Jack's another one that went for quite a bargain price in the Calcutta
Yeah,
as
I think
well.
he did. Yeah, I was
I'm
looking
sure
at
I
that.
saw that he went for something quite cheap. So whoever's took the gamble and bought him will be sat happy at the minute.
So Tom's been drawing his last 2 breaks, so let's see if he can stop that sequence. I think he's put an additional bit on there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe through frustration, but unfortunately it's
It's incredible to see him dry break.
yeah,
Maybe
3 times on
once,
the draw.
but to see him dry break 3. That's how cruel this game can be at times, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Like you say, it's a little bit like how Mick lost at the Strachan Cup.
Yeah.
He just couldn't buy a ball for the
Yeah.
breaking.
The problem you got is his break is so aggressive that when you do dry break, you're often leaving the frame,
Yeah,
aren't you?
yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, these aren't easy, but it's only really one shot that he's going to have to move something, isn't it? And
Could he do that straight away? Do you think he's got an angle to play a plant and then
well,
move the yellow out? If
I suppose if he's playing yellows, he might want to just make sure he's yellows first.
Oh, yeah.
He might just pot the yellow over the hole, but yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to pot the yellow
Also,
off the red,
got
maybe.
Go red. Yeah, it's good. That's what we were saying about the rack. Like, the ball's exploding.
Yeah.
You better get a ball off the break.
Yeah.
You're leaving them
Yeah,
for your opponent
exactly.
most times.
I wouldn't have thought he could have landed in much a worse spot than that, though, to be fair. He's hampered on whatever ball he chooses to play. He might now be forced into playing a safety and rolling a yellow over the pocket,
Yeah.
where he would have initially been looking to go for these, because I definitely think the yellow on the bulk line, he can pot off the red and free the other yellow up.
Yeah.
But he can't do that from here.
10 seconds. 5. Extension call.
Yeah, Darren Appleton. I haven't watched much of the arena games myself, but I have had a couple of players that have come off complaining they've struggled with their break, haven't they? Yeah, I think it's just one of those things, isn't it?
It's ironic because this morning's first game between Craig Lakin and Simon Fitzsimmons was possibly the best display of break, and I've seen this weekend on the table.
Yeah.
Craig Lakin was awesome with his break, and so was Simon, although Simon went in off a couple of times.
Yeah, Simon's generally got a big break anyway, hasn't he?
Yes, that might be offset because of that, I guess.
But then we're saying that, I mean, I would have said before this match, Tom Cousins has got the best break in the world that I've ever seen consistently.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so far he's not made a ball off 3 of them, so this is a key shot to the frame now. He's obviously playing this off the red.
Yeah.
And he needs to obviously get the red away from the yellow enough.
I was
so
going
can
to say
still
he's
go.
going to have to make sure that because it might go into the red and
That's okay, I think.
Be interesting to see if that yellow does pass the red. So the way Mark's played that, I think the yellow does go.
Tom looking a bit dejected at the moment, sat in his chair, but there's not really a lot he can do about this.
He's done nothing wrong, has he? Oh, wow. It was obviously not a full pocket because he's just clipped the red on the way through.
Yeah. Well, the pace he's played that, you would imagine he must have thought it went comfortably, because otherwise you wouldn't have played it so pacey, would you?
Yeah, yeah.
You might have been trying to just pinch a bit of the pocket as well.
That Darren Appleton makes a point about how hard breaks sometimes gets punished on this table if you don't make a ball. That's what we're saying. We're saying that, and actually, not because Darren's on watching the stream. I commentated on this game yesterday, and he absolutely crunched. I think his last 3 or 4 breaks and hit him absolutely beautifully, and nothing went down.
And then you're
it
leaving
really
the frame, aren't you? Then that's the negative.
Phil just stepped up and took the leftovers, but Darren really absolutely crunched him. I think he was.
I don't suppose you saw his finish the other night against Liam White. I think it was Friday night, one of the last games on.
He took a fantastic
at 10-all.
Yeah, that's
my
brilliant,
God.
yeah.
And he pretty much had about 30 people in the room waiting on him for their accumulator as well.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most incredible shots I've seen.
Yeah, that was
long plant from tight off the bolt rail.
Yeah, it looked as if
and
he
there
was in a
about
pickle.
and there was about 2 foot between the balls that he had to play, and the second ball wasn't even over the hole.
Yeah,
It was a good 6 inches away from the hole. It's incredible. Yeah, if we had a shot of the tournament selection for you guys, that one would certainly be up there for the ones I've seen.
That and Mellon's shot.
Oh, Mellon, oh yeah. I think I'm just so used to seeing him do that now. I'm not surprised when I see it.
It looked as if he almost wanted to play that, he said that deliberately.
Yeah.
So
It just that shot reminded me of that 9-ball finish that was floating about possibly 6-7 months ago.
There was played like 3 shots.
Three shots out of this were on the same rack, but the opening shot was a similar shot, wasn't it? Where he's chipped a ball up the rail and come off the side cushion and come and knocked it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's as far as shot making goes, there's no one near him, is there?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
10 seconds. 5, 4.
One thing I'd like to ask is obviously Mick Hill's the favourite, quite comfortable favourite in the tournament odds, things like that. Do you think, I'm not sure how much you've watched the stream because obviously you've been busy yourself at playing, but he has sort of mentioned about his neck injury, and he's not putting any pressure on himself. He was even at the point where he might have even pulled out.
Yep.
Do you think that's a tactic on his half to sort of take the pressure off himself?
I'm not sure it is. I believe if he's got
Tom's
yeah, I mean, if he's got a genuine neck injury, which you have to take his word for that
I don't doubt that he's got a neck injury.
What I would say is, if anything, it probably makes him more dangerous, because if he's come here and he's naturally taking pressure off himself, then he's more of a danger, isn't he? Because he must come to these events under extreme pressure, because he hasn't really got a lot to gain other than if he wins the event, has he?
Yeah.
Because everyone's expecting him to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But the other thing I found, I have had a couple neck injuries in the past when I used to play snooker and obviously a bit of pool. If it's not severe, it can help you, because you stay down on the shot, you can keep him still, and you're doing everything correct. And it might not be as much a hindrance as what he thought, but certainly if Mick's playing under no pressure, then it's a big worry for the rest of the field, that's for sure.
Interesting, because he, when I saw him Friday afternoon when he played his opening game, it was quite apparent he was grimacing, getting down on his shot and things like that. He said to me that he's been taking sort of like painkillers and stuff like that, and it is helping. But he hasn't really played a match yet where he's been put under a lot of pressure. I know actually Jake Danilov actually gave him an okay game yesterday, but I'm just wondering if because today for him to win the tournament he's going to have to win 4 games in a row.
Yep.
You know, in
that's
quite
a lot of
quick
pull.
succession.
That's a lot of pull to play in a row,
yeah,
isn't it?
And the best, first to 11s as well. So, from now, players going to have to win 44 frames to win the event, and they've already played a heck of a load of frames beforehand anyway.
They've probably only won 5 matches to be where they are, haven't they?
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6. So they've got to almost win the equivalent of what they've won in 2 days today.
Yeah, today.
And without doubt against harder opposition, because it's the who's
latter
who's left,
stages,
isn't it? So it will be definitely a test on him, and I suppose maybe mentally more than physically, because when you're aware of an injury, it can have that effect on you. This frame's starting to turn a lot into Tom's favour now, isn't it, with Reds?
Yes, it's got there's a few puzzles here, isn't there? So on table number 1, Sean Chipperfield's now on the hill against Gareth Hibbert, 10-4 up. Sean was the outsider for that match against Hibbert. I think he was.
He was 11-10 outsider. Yes.
We've just actually heard that that match is actually over. So Sean, in the blink of an eye, he's won. So he's Sean he's come off my my live score screen. So Sean Chipperfield is the first player through to the quarterfinals. And what dangerous form he's in at the minute. He's a contender for sure, isn't he?
He's got the winner of the Mick Hill-Craig Lakin match.
Wow, goodness me.
Which is obviously 7-4 to Mick at the minute, but that's another fantastic game, isn't it?
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's certainly going to be a contender for the arena, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mick and Chipperfield. We've got Nosco's 5-3 up on Jimmy Croxton.
Yeah, Max doing the Southwest proud there.
Jack and Yannick must be having a bit of a battle, because that's still 5-3 to Jack.
Yeah.
Drew Hughes is 5-3 up on Adam Davis on the other stream table. Phil is just edging out Neil Rayburn 5-4 at the minute. And Craig Marsh is 7-3 up on Rob Warren. There's some fantastic games there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's that was a nice shot there from Tom. I'm just wondering whether or not he could place the white in a certain place where he could pop the red.
Pop the red,
in the bottom right hand pocket, bottom left hand pocket. Sorry. It's one of those where he could if the white's in the right place, he could potentially. But it looks as if he's
going cush first and rolling onto the red.
So this is just. So obviously he couldn't. So.
But I wonder if it's a good shot, but is he going to force Mark into playing the plant here?
Might be.
He might have no other shot here.
Yeah, a bit of a pop shot there, so he could.
But if he was to make the plant, he would certainly be on the ball in bulk and would win the frame.
Got Lewis Prince asking, did Lakin win? He won earlier on the live stream, so he's now in the last 16, although he's 7-4 down to Mick Hill. Yeah, so he's looking at it, like you say. Oh, that's a nice shot, isn't it? That's a fantastic shot. And he held the white as well and got the yellow into open play.
I thought it was the angle to take the cue ball away down towards bulk, but obviously where it was, he had a better view angle than what we could see. But he's delighted with that result. Just make sure the ball in the middle and be 5-3 up. And this match has totally swung around.
Yeah, it just leaves a nice angle so he doesn't have to do too much of this. So he'll just track down and just make it leave the black into the bottom right hand pocket. Yeah, nothing silly. And again, with the top players, they don't need to get very, very close to balls.
No.
You don't need to risk moving the cue ball too much because they're such good potters anyway. Okay, so stay down on that one.
Yeah.
Like that. So that's high five for Marc Farnsworth. That's 5 on the spin. And he's nearly halfway there. And like you say, Tom's not really done a great deal.
No.
Great deal wrong.
You'd arguably say he was a bit careless with that last shot he's played to lose the frame, because he didn't really come around to check to see if he was leaving the plant, did he? And it was the only way he could lose the frame was to leave Mark a bit of an odd finish.
So we can see there the latest scores around the arena. Drew Hughes is 1-2 in the spin, so he's now 6-3 up. So I don't want to use the word surprise package, but you know, Drew Hughes plays on the IPA, so Black Bull is his bag, as it were. But you know, he's gone through the tournament quite quietly and gone about his business.
Yeah. And so we'd have to get confirmation whether he was bought as an individual, whether he's a non-elite.
What I'll do, I'll find out for shortly at some point to find out who's who in terms of sort of non-elite.
Yeah, because I mean, if he is a non-elite, then obviously it's between him and Max at the minute. Whoever
You'd be
gets
annoyed
the
if you got to the quarters and another non-elite.
Oh, huge, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if in result of if they both lose in the same round, is it a tie or is it going frame? You'd imagine it's a tie, isn't it? If they both get to the same round.
I'm not sure they can be looking at frames and things like that.
Be a harsh way, wouldn't it,
Yellow
to
cards.
win or lose 3 and
Who was that in the World Cup? Was it Nigeria got knocked down?
Oh, it was at one stage permutations with England and Belgium, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Go down to yellow cards, who would win the group?
Jack and Yannick are still 5-3, so they're obviously having they're slogging it out with a protracted frame.
Craig's 8-3 up on Rob Warren now. He's obviously queued nicely.
Marc Farnsworth to break, leading 5 frames to 3.
Be remarkable if Phil was to, get to the final, having lost his opening match of the event.
Well, that'll be some story if he.
And especially as you've already mentioned, the players he's beaten en route to be in the event now is.
Oh, it's rude, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
It was quite nice yesterday. I mean, I don't know if Darren's still watching the stream, but when he shook hands with Phil, because they played on the stream table, I think Darren said something like 12 years or something. I think he was sort of referring to that they perhaps had not played each other for like 12 years in like a competitive event.
It's incredible to see these sort of names back, though, isn't it? Melling, Appleton, Jason Shaw, Mick Hill, these sort of players that have been. I know Mick's been about a lot more than the others.
Yeah.
But they've been off the scene for a few years, and we want to see all these guys playing, don't we? Because they're still the best players in the world.
Yeah.
I know they've got other commitments and disciplines that they're playing, but
so Mark's going to. I thought for a second he might have been nudging the yellow out of the way.
Yeah.
All the reds go somewhere, so I guess he doesn't.
He
Again, that's me being the amateur trying to move balls.
Yeah.
He knows that they.
He obviously, his plan will just be to finish straight on the red to the right of the table, and holding the cue ball there will be the red in the opposite corner, and that'll be his finish.
Yeah. So he's sort of eliminating any problem potential.
Yeah, these top players, they don't play cannons unless it's absolutely required, do they?
No. So Jamie in the YouTube chat box has said that Drew is a non-elite, that he brought him in a group.
Oh, wow.
And the other non-elite players are Max and Yannick. Oh, so is Yannick?
Is Yannick a non-elite? Is
Oh,
he?
I'm
I
surprised by that, if
thought
he-
Yannick was. Well, he was certainly bought individually, but that doesn't mean he wasn't bought out of a group.
Yeah,
But I certainly know he was bought individually because I saw the listings.
that's interesting. I will.
You will have to get confirmation on that, but certainly Max was a non-elite because he bought himself out of a group, or him and his backer, whoever bought him, has bought him out of a group.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if Yannick is as well, that's really intriguing to have 3 out of potentially in the quarterfinals.
And that's quite good for the tournament as well. That you've got players from the non-elite.
Yeah. Well, one thing I would say is I wouldn't imagine none of them will be non-elite next event.
Yeah. So, as you called earlier on in the frame, Mike, he's got on this red straight enough.
Pretty faultless pull at the minute, though, from Marc, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can see why he's been #1 on the IPA tour for so many years.
So long,
he doesn't make any mistakes, does he?
Oh, so solid, isn't he? Yeah, that's nice, and I think he's left a nice angle to play the black into the same pocket, is it? I think.
Yeah. If he needed to, he could cannon
bump into
towards the yellow
yellow,
and just
yeah,
ensure
just
that
to
he's
hold
got a
it.
shot.
No, he could dig it out enough, couldn't he?
Yeah.
So this back for 6 frames in a row.
He's only just on that.
Yeah, another turn or two, been in trouble. Yeah, so
Another shot, he stays down. I wonder if this is a deliberate.
he's up for it.
Yeah, and also it's ensuring that he's queuing nicely, isn't it? By keeping still, your head still.
I think this means a lot to him.
Yeah, it's a massive game for Marc, isn't it? He same as all of us. He sees all the Facebook posts and the comments, the same as we all do, about the potential money game between the two of them. And
So lay down a marker.
yeah, because a lot of people do question that he could beat Tom over a long race, don't they? It sounds silly to say because of what he's done in the game, and but there's a lot of opinions out there that just think that Tom would win comfortably. But I know this is a shorter match, but the evidence is there that Marc can certainly compete with him.
Yeah, it's like I say, I think the result of this match, regardless whatever it is, might spice it.
Yeah,
that storyline up for the next
certainly
coming weeks. Somebody in the YouTube chat box makes a good comment about the seedings and the rankings of the tour. Obviously, Liam was the #1 player after reaching consecutive finals at the J Snowin Open and the Strachan Cup. I think he's probably going to lose that #1 seeding because we've got Mick Hill. Phil Harrison was #2 in the ranking, so Phil's still in. So there's a good chance that he'll overtake top spot. If Mick Hill wins the event, obviously I think he'll go. Well, he will go top because he got to. Well,
he's missed an event though, Mick, hasn't he?
He missed an event, so possibly not. But certainly Phil Harrison might.
I think if Phil was to win this tie now and reach the quarterfinals, he would probably go to the top, wouldn't he? Because he would have a winner, a quarterfinal minimum. And even though the first event, I don't think he cashed. I believe he got to the last round before the money, perhaps. So he still picked up some very tidy points there.
So Tom's ended his dry spell of breaks, and
he needs to get these now, doesn't he? Just to get back into the match. Because at the minute he's not been able to get his hand on the table at all.
Yeah, he made multiple balls there. Right? Anth Taylor just asking about, thought it was a random draw. I'll explain this event. It was 8 winners were joined by the 8 people who come through the losers section. The 8 winners were already fixed in the draw, and then we done a random draw so that the people who come through the losers section were drawn against the winners. So this event, it was winners v losers, as it were.
Which I think is correct.
Yes,
I think
it
should be that. You should be rewarded for you know, winning all your matches.
Yeah. Although coincidentally, in this tournament, I mean, you look at the people who come through the losers
Yeah,
section. They quite
it
easily be the
it
winners.
doesn't make a load of difference really, but
I guess you don't want to see a winner via winner.
No,
because it's a bit cruel that one of them's gonna.
Yeah. And also the other factor is you could have got a potential last 16 with the old structure, 2 people that had already played each other because of the random draw of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you still can get that now, but it's certainly a lot less likely when
Yeah, good point.
you've got one winner and one runner-up. Not runner-up, but, you know, a loser.
Yeah. So Tom's serenely gone through this rack here, and as you said, Mike, he really needs to stop the rot with his frame. Yeah, so we see that Anthony agrees with us there, Ant.
That's a nice finish.
Yeah, he's
Rain, Tom Cousins.
okay. So just looking around the arena again. Have a look at the scores. So they come up the screen. It might take a couple of seconds for the for them to update. So there we go. So Craig Marsh is still 9-3 up on Rob Warren. Mikhail 8-6. So Craig Lakin is
Fighting back.
Is giving him. It really is giving him a game. Neil Raybone, Phil Harrison, all square at 5-all. Neil Raybone's another one, isn't he? He's come through the winners section. I wouldn't even notice he's been here.
No.
He's just quietly
That's
goes
just
for his business.
That's Neil all over, isn't it? It's
and all of a sudden, wow, he's in the semis. He's in the final.
I don't want to use the word underrated because that's a bit harsh because every pool player rates Neil, but he's not spoke about in the same bracket as the maybe top 8 or 10 players. But every event he's in the business end, isn't he?
So consistent.
Such a tough player to play. And that match there, you couldn't rule out that going the full distance, 10-all. And
yeah, a lot of respect between the players.
Yeah, 2 of the nice guys of pool as well, wasn't it?
Oh, goodness me, yeah, definitely.
6 frames to 4. Time running.
So we'll keep the tabs on that. Like I say, if you want to find out what the latest scores, or head over to qscore.com. The at the bottom of the screen there as well is the address for that too. So that's how you get to the Supreme Masters page on QScore. So
another big break.
Yeah, another nice break from Mark there.
If the yellow goes in the middle, then you fancy him to get these. He's just got to play one cannon, the yellow closest to the red.
Yeah.
I mean, it would go in the middle if he could move the red out of the way from the middle pocket, but I'm not sure that's something he'd look to do. I think he'd probably rather play a cannon. But if he plays reds, nothing needs moving, does it? But he requires a couple good pots. I think that's what you mentioned previously, a lot of players using their extension for the opening visit after the break.
Yeah, like Mark's done there, yeah.
Giving themselves plenty of time to work out their route.
So, Daz in the chat box saying, yep, and confirmed, yeah, Craig's now only 8-7 down to Mick, so Craig really is putting Mick through the, giving Mick a good game there.
I can see why he took his time, because when he come to the table, he was definitely going to be reds. All his body language and thought process was eyeing up the reds there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But by using his extension, he's taken a bit of time and he's worked out a route for yellows, but it's by no means easy at all.
It did look wide from the start, didn't it?
Yep.
Maybe with a little bit less pace it possibly could have dropped, but there was a little bit of juice on it. Marc will be very happy though the way he's played so far.
Well, I think it's the first ball he's missed, isn't it? I mean, this is by no means easy, but we're just so accustomed to these top players clearing up wherever the balls are.
Dishing up, yeah. So again, now Tom's used his extension as his first shot to the table just to work out what he's going to do.
That's it. I mean, it's obvious that's his problem, isn't it? The red beneath the yellow.
Yeah.
The earlier he can get that out of the way, the better. It would be, I guess, the red in the middle, the red beneath the yellow to leave the longish red down the rail, won't it? Be his next 3 shots.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what other red he could maybe cannon into the yellow and leave the red in the middle of the table, but
where he was putting his tip of his cue there, he's almost suggesting that you get to the potting angle there, but obviously the camera angles can be quite deceiving at times. Oh, maybe obviously you can get to the angle, so
I guess you try to get the white to the side rail and leave the red down the rail, but then it would be imperative that he screws back enough to leave the red,
to leave the right angle to get
right angle in the middle. It's a nice shot.
Yeah, he's got a good angle on this red to work with. Yeah, a few people asking what this is first to. It's first to 11 now, and it's first to 11 all the way through the event. It got past just.
I'm surprised with that choice of shot. I thought he would have played for the red in bulk.
That's what I assumed he was going to do.
And then just, well, I don't think he's got a shot here. But I mean, can he play the red off the cushion, off the yellow and in? That's probably what he's going to end up having to play.
That's not enough angle, is it, to get out?
No. Oh, that looks nasty. Anyway,
he's too far, isn't
I think he's going to have to try and power this, isn't he, and get over.
Yeah.
Which he's certainly got the cue power to get over.
Oh, what a shot that is! But that's turned a corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's gone like. Well, that's terrific, fantastic shot from Tom there.
I don't know what we were talking about. Where was the problem?
Wow, he's actually hit the cushion as well. Wow,
he generates so much power with such little effort, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think that's why his break is so good.
Yeah.
The timing.
So then this black to go within one of Marc. Yeah, and that black wasn't going to be an issue, was it?
No.
With the balls he's putting. So yeah, fantastic
This match is
response
building
there
up nicely now.
Yeah, it really is.
And look, Jez Graham in the background, he's just turned up, cheering his good mate Tom on.
What we were saying yesterday as well, these matches first to 11, it's very rare that we play a tournament where the games are first to 11, so this is a real match play, assessment of your match play acumen, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
You can get a good story where players will win sort of matches frames, a bit like when you watch the snooker at the Crucible.
Yeah.
You can be 3, 4, 5 frames down, but you're always in the match.
Yeah.
Because obviously they say the better players should win over a longer distance.
Well, I think it's even more evident with this game, isn't it? Because the break is such a huge weapon. You see 3 or 4 frames won on the bounce by a certain player all the time because it can literally just be a couple breaks, and that is all you've done wrong.
Yeah.
So no real lead is safe, is it? And as
No,
we can
it's
see,
not,
you know,
yeah.
Mick Hill was quite a way up on Craig Lakin.
Yeah.
In
That's,
a matter of time, he's brought that back to 8-7, and that's anyone's game now.
Yeah, it is.
Fantastic performance from Drew Hughes as well to be 7-4 up on Adam Davis.
Yeah, Adam's obviously a former world champion.
Tom Cousins to break, trailing 5 frames to 6. Time running.
So he crunched the last break, potted I think 3 balls. Let's see what happens this time.
Dry.
Yeah, it's so frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
This example, he's done nothing different.
No.
Do you? I was speaking to Craig Marsh in the commentary box about sort of the break rule. If you were like creating, you know, starting English 8 work from the start, and you're writing down the rules, and there was one rule set, what would you have ideally for the break?
I like the world rules break rule, that it's just one visit.
Yeah.
I think the free shot for the the in off
Yeah.
is generally loss of frame, isn't it? The free shot at
Yeah.
this level.
Mhm.
I like the world rules. That would be the one rule that if I was mix and matching a rule set, I'd have black ball rules bringing over the world rules break. That would be what I would
Sure.
like to do. You want players crushing the balls, don't you? You want the four. What is the black ball? Is it 2 past the middle pocket?
Yeah,
That's
two fully passed, I think, or not sure if it's fully passed or if they've got a break. But yeah, 2.
I think 4 balls hitting a cushion forces you to hit them harder.
Yes.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I've even read somewhere before. I'm not sure which player mentioned it, but they wanted it scrapped that you weren't even allowed to hit the front ball. They wanted the cut break. That they wanted that to be a foul. I'm not sure if that was Mick or
to be a foul.
To be that you had to hit the front ball
Right,
because
okay.
obviously the cut break generally can draw tactical frames as well. So,
They seem to move to
the side, don't
sometimes,
they?
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
We
actually,
all-
Craig Marsh said that he
It might-
likes the world rules.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's such a
Break,
heavy
yeah.
penalty at Blackpool for the foul off the break. I mean, I know you can go in off and it can be a bad shot, but you can be kicked in off and it's a killer, isn't it?
yeah.
So-
You're being punished twice, aren't
Yeah.
you? You're giving up the table
Yeah.
and you're giving your opponent.
But yeah, going back to the game, Mark is in total control of this frame. But the beauty of this rule set that we're playing here is it can swing so quickly, can it, with one
Yeah.
skill shot or
He'd be a lot stronger favourite if it's a world rule.
Yeah.
So over on table number 4, Craig Lakin's got it back to 8 all. So wow, it's a best of 5 there, and
Yeah.
what an opportunity and also redemption for Craig Lakin
Yeah,
after last
yeah,
month's
very.
event. So.
He was very unfortunate to lose to him last time.
Yeah, of course, it's like under a slightly different structure when like certain players weren't allowed in it. But Craig has won one of these events. That's an error. One of these events that Lee's put on. Sort of in the past, he won the very first.
Yeah, he
Players
did. He
Amateur
won.
Championship.
Yeah, he did. And he also got to the quarters or semi-finals, I believe, of the following year when Greg Batten won it. Because I remember
Yes.
Greg beat him in
Yeah.
the semis. So
Yeah.
he's got a very good record here, Craig. And the beauty of how he plays is he can swing a match in 15, 20 minutes, a bit like Chipperfield, as we've mentioned, and
Yeah.
players like that.
Yeah.
They're so quick.
You see Sean there in the background, Sean Chipperfield, just waiting on.
Who's he got the winner of?
I
Was
don't
it
know.
Mick and Craig, did we say?
I think I'll find out. I think he might have. Yeah.
Yeah, so Sean Chipperfield's got the winner of Mick Hill and Craig Lakin.
Wow, that's going to be special every.
Craig Marsh has got the winner of this match here. So
So that's the next scoreline.
Yeah.
The second player through to the quarterfinals of the 2018 Supreme Masters is Craig Marsh. And that's quite a convincing victory over Rob Warren, isn't
Yes,
it? 11,
yeah.
11-4. So Craig Marsh, another world champion. He's through. Sean Chipfield, he's been a world champion.
Yeah.
He's through.
Has Marc Farnsworth won the IPA world title yet? Or was that the one thing to elude him, probably?
He's not won the IPA world title. I think that's the thing that has sort of eluded him, a world title as such. I'm not sure. He certainly hasn't won any of the WEPF world titles. I know there have been other world titles as well, but I think that's what's.
I believe Phil Harrison's won the world title
he
a
won
couple of
in
times.
09.
Is he won it once or twice, and then obviously
he won it once. Yeah.
Mick's won it 5 times. So I mean, we've got a lot of world champions left in this.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Phil Harrison's won it. Adam Davis has won the WEPF world title. Jack Whelan has won the IPA world title. Peter Hill, we're talking about sort of like, obviously, he's obviously picking up on, we're talking about sort of like rules. He's saying about like world rules, 2 shots carry.
Yeah, that's another big penalty,
dead.
isn't it? Yeah.
Especially against top players, quite often they won't need to use.
No.
You know, I do like that with Blackpool, where it is just 1 shot after your free hit, so
100%.
anything could happen.
Yep,
It could be a kick or
100%.
a get
That's,
out of position. So the
that's
frame
it.
is always active.
I'll be interested to play these Supreme rules when we play them. I've heard nothing but good things about them, so it's just learning them and adapting to them.
Yep, so this is Mark's fully capitalised on Tom's error, and he's going to retake a 2-frame advantage. So Marc Farnsworth, four frames away from a quarter-final berth here at the Players Pool and Snooker Lounge. Jack Whelan, 8-3 up on Yannick Beaufils, so looks as if Jack's going to, well, they're saying that there's no quitting in Yannick. He'll carry on right until the bitter end, but Jack's in a very strong position against Yannick. Phil Harrison's just edged the lead again against Neil Raybo, 6-5 up. Mick's retaken the league against Craig, so he's 9-8 up.
Yeah.
Marc Farnsworth to break, leading 7 frames to 5. Time running.
Okay, so Mark to break, needing 4 more.
Just noticed on the website we've got over 1,000 people watching the Mick Hill Craig Lakin game on the other side.
It's there's a lot of interest there.
That's getting to the business end of that match, isn't it?
Yeah, it's two very well-known players. Well, obviously Mick, but obviously we know Lakin is always being bandied about on social media.
Yeah,
so.
Very popular player, Craig.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, I love watching him. Yeah, I love commentating on him. I mean, it was this morning against them. It was interesting because he was fantastic this morning. He broke brilliantly, but there was 2 frames that he completely threw away. I mean, one, he didn't get on the black. He snooked himself, which was really basic. And another ball where he's just missed it. I mean, I guess that's Craig's a fantastic player, but I guess that could be perhaps what stopping him go another level.
The level up
concentration,
again.
maybe the complacency. But you can't necessarily tell a quick player to slow down.
No,
you know?
no. Yeah, because what your counter argument is what makes him and Chipfield so dangerous. What you're asking them to do is take that away to make them more solid. Would be to take away probably their greatest strength.
The bigger part, yeah.
Yeah. But back to this game, the yellows look like they all go, and it's a fantastic chance for Mark to go 3 clear.
Yeah, there's a bit of concern on Tom's face
Yeah.
there.
But, I mean, if he was to watch this match back, Tom, he's really only played the poor shot in the last frame to going off, and maybe one other error, and that is all he's done.
Well, those 3 breaks have really hurt him. Where
Yeah.
he broke, well, it's 4 out of 5, isn't
4
it?
out of 5, he's broke dry from 3-0 up.
So they
And
really
he's been
hurt him.
punished maximum.
Could have been nicer.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's one of the first cannons Mark's played in the match, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now he's got a thin cut back into this corner. He might be opting to play the one long bridging, but this is certainly missable if he does.
I've got
10 seconds.
I think he'll use his extension here, won't he?
Finish your call.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice shot.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. Yeah, like you say, had a fair degree of difficulty that, but he's put it away, and I think that might be his passport to the frame.
Seconds. 5, 4.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to come through a couple of centimetres or so, and now it's fairly simple. He plays a little bit checks on that. I think he can just drop it in,
Yeah.
actually. He doesn't need to. Okay, so Mark doing his thing this frame. He continues his assault to the get to the quarterfinals of the Supreme Masters. He's 8-5 up and now just 3 away from the winning line.
Yeah, on the evidence we've seen, for Tom to win from here, he needs Mark's break to start failing,
Yeah,
because
he
he's
needs-
not making any mistakes, is he?
So Phil Harrison's now opened up a 7-5 advantage on Neil Raybone. So people asking for the payout structure. I'll sort of quickly run through it. It's the losers of the last 16 each pick up £375. The losers of the quarterfinals get £1,000. Semi-finalists £2,000. Runner-up £5,000 for this event, and the winner receives £13,000.
There's also a small non-elite prize. Is it £250?
£250
Yeah.
for the highest non-elite, so that there is the additional bonus to that as well. So that's the actual sort of tournament prize pot. Obviously, there is the issue of the Calcutta as well, but that's something individual that doesn't necessarily always involve the players, but quite a lot of players do like to have an investment on themselves, so that's quite lucrative as well.
Tom Cousins to break, trailing 5 frames to 8. Time running.
Okay, so Tom, if Tom is going to win this match, he's really got to be getting some balls off his breaks. Let's see if he can start here. Yeah, so he would like he's made one.
Oh,
A little bit of a mess.
yeah.
Oh,
As generally happens when you're struggling for a break, you
do get
eventually
the
make
ball,
one.
or go in off as
Yeah.
well or something.
Yeah.
Time running.
Not sure what he's got to go at here.
This is sometimes another little brutal aspect to the break and black ball, is that you could potentially pot 5-6 balls if you end up on top of a ball like this, because there's no nomination.
Yep.
At least with world rules, I mean, if you potted a ball, you can perhaps maybe
with world rules
controls
now, if no red goes, you could still nominate reds and play a telling safety, and you'd be favourite for the frame. But
Yeah.
it certainly does, that aspect of it does make it more attacking, doesn't it? Because players are almost forced.
Yeah, you've got to play sort of an aggressive shot.
I think we'll see he's using his extension again first visit here for certain.
Yeah, just to work it out.
Whatever red he looks to try to pot is going to be tricky, whether it's a real thin snick in one middle or playing a red down the corner. This is very tough.
That's it in the yellow.
Yeah.
So it is open table if people aren't familiar with black ball.
Mark will certainly be yellows now. The way
Yeah.
those two reds have ended forward, they've gone safe.
Mick Hill's on the hill, excuse the pun, against Craig Lake, and he's 10-8 up. Someone asking how Yannick's getting on. Yannick's now 9-3 down to Jack Whelan.
Did you have any fancies who you thought from the start would run deep in this, or
Yeah,
real close?
Well, from the start of the event, I always
10 seconds.
like sort of not backing him, but always looking at how he's getting on is Jordan Shepherd.
Yeah.
Because I always think Jordan's, I love watching him play as well.
Yeah.
And also, he's just won
Just
an event
won
on
the
the IPA,
IPA, yeah.
so he did look really good first three. I mean, he beat Ben Davies on the stream table,
Yep.
but unfortunately, he's bumped into Marc Farnsworth
Yeah.
last night, so that's very difficult anyway. I did actually like, I know we're watching now Tom Cousins, and that's, he's one of the big ones anyway, but because he sort of, he come through his first round match, again we talked about him sort of like free rolling, as it were, so I thought he'd be sort of very dangerous from, well he already is dangerous, but you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Not fate or whatever, but...
Yeah. I think what we've seen is with these real top players, it's not mattered whether they've lost a match or not, because even going to that loser side, they're capable of winning 5-6 matches on the spin, as we've mentioned about Phil previously. I mean, I know speaking to a lot of players in this event, they kind of were under the impression if you lost your first match or two, you couldn't win the tournament because you had to win so many games in that lose. But with the top players, it's not made any difference whatsoever, really.
Well, 1 free shot, 1 visit. Time
It's a complete miscalculation there.
Yeah. That's the second time in the match he's given Mark ball in hand.
You can't be.
You can't be giving him that.
Yeah. Drew Hughes now 9-4 up on Adam Davis, so Drew doing very well. And Max Nosko 8-5 up, so if both of them are non-elite, both of them, as we say, could be in the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because with the Calcutta, if someone have brought them, if they get both at the quarters, they get the quarter-final payout.
And the best non-elite, yeah.
So it's a very, because I think that happened to Harjeet
It did last event, Harjeet Singh. I think he was bought by Mandeep's
And Zach Shepherd as
and
well.
Zach
the
Shepherd,
partner.
yeah, I think they bought him. Yeah, and
That's
he
a nice shot. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's a lovely shot.
so well worked out, that, isn't it?
Yeah, so it can be very lucrative. You could really mop up if
Yeah.
a non-elite player goes far.
I'm not certain, but I think Galloway bought Max Nosco on this event, because I'm sure I remember Max telling me that Galloway bought him and Max
did
has
he?
bought in for some. But
He somehow manages to get involved somehow.
yeah,
doesn't he?
he's- So I believe next weekend we've got arguably the biggest pot money match that's been, well, as far as I can remember, with Tierney and Washbrook. I think it's up to 50.
Oh, are they playing? I've not heard.
I believe that's £50,000 a man next weekend.
Wow.
I've only mentioned that because Galloway is bringing up his name has made me think of that. But yeah, that'll be.
He's not part of the stable anymore, though, is he?
No,
Tierney?
Tierney's
He's been sacked.
Sacked. Yeah.
What I've noticed is obviously with Mark watching over the years, he doesn't change his. He takes time on every shot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's just the same. Like
I
routine.
noticed that playing him yesterday. It could be a black over the hole, or it could be
Very
a tricky
rhythmic, yeah.
ball, and it's the same methodical process, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know if he bought himself from the Calcutta.
Yeah.
We'd have to ask him that, but he generally does back himself quite big, doesn't
Yeah.
he, in money games and stuff.
I think they are playing for a lot of money here, especially for English 8-ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why it's coaxed back players like Appleton and Boys and Mellon and people like
Yeah.
that. There is really good sort of money to be earned at these weekends.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, even the prize money alone of £13,000 is huge
Yeah,
money.
exactly.
Add in the fact if you've bought yourself in the Calcutta and you
Wow.
stand to win 28,000
Yeah.
on top, I
Yeah.
mean, £40,000 for winning the event.
Incredible.
Well-paid jobs. You'd go to work all year for that,
Yeah,
for a well-paid job.
exactly. Can you imagine the grand finals? I mean, there is talk obviously about if two players got to a final.
Yeah,
they chop
it's
it up,
hard to
whatever.
imagine two players playing for that prize, but the
Yeah.
opportunity is there if you were someone like Mick or Phil and you got to the final and you
You're
felt
going to fancy your chances
Fan-
against most
yeah.
people, aren't you? So
£51,000 a lot of money.
just for argument's sake, they brought themselves or had some sort of investment in the Calcutta. We
Yep.
could be pushing on sort of like 100 grand.
100
if
grand
that's
for winning a
it.
pool tournament. Crazy.
Also, Mick Hill, tournament favourite, we believe. Yep, he's off the screen. So the third player through to the quarterfinals of the Supreme Masters 2018 is the tournament favourite, the 5-time champion of the world, Mick Hill.
I'd be surprised if you could see even money on him now. Quarter-final
Well,
stage.
He was 8-all with Lakin. Lakin's done really well to
Yep.
hold himself there. So Mick again is possibly, I've not seen it, but possibly he's gone up another level again. He's realised.
Drew Hughes is now 10-4 up on Adam Davis.
10-4, so
Jack Whelan 10-3 up on Yannick.
yeah, so
So
a
these
few
matches
people
drawing
on
to
the hill.
conclusions now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Max is 8-5 up on Jimmy Croxton.
Yeah.
That's a tie both of them would have been delighted with, wouldn't they, going into the last 16?
Yeah, with no disrespect,
No
to
disrespect
each other.
meant to each other, or
Yeah.
when you look
In
at
terms of look at the betting,
the
outright
betting,
betting, yeah,
and,
yeah.
that would have been a tie both of them would have fancied. And obviously we've got Mark 9-5 up here, and Phil's 7-5 up in his tussle with Neil Rayburn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see Sean Chipperfield, Mick Hill in the quarterfinals. That's
That's a insane
I'll,
game.
I'll be surprised if that's not in the arena. That's a mouth-watering clash, isn't it?
Yeah. The good thing about the quarterfinals, folks, is we stream 4 tables, so every single quarterfinal from after this stage, every single match will be streamed in some
That's
capacity.
a very good
Might
point. It
not
doesn't
always
matter what game's in the
be,
arena,
yeah.
really, does it? You can watch whatever game you fancy.
Yeah, so that's the coverage that Beer Productions are bringing you.
Marc Farnsworth to break, leading 9 frames to 5. Time running.
Okay, so Mark's a break, and you know he's only 2 away now.
Tom's
he's in a
break,
position-
isn't it? Is it Tom's break or Mark's?
No, Mark's at the
yeah.
table. Yeah. I've been looking at Mark's break tip. I was watching it yesterday when it was a thing. Like, it's almost like, you know, when you, like the centre of the tip's not been chalked or something.
Yeah.
It looks like, you know, when you when you're younger, you used to chalk the cue like, right down and grind, then you can't get into the middle of the tip.
Yep.
It looks like that.
Well, it's hard to imagine how he won't clear up yellows from here.
Yeah, it would need something.
I think his opening shot, he'd probably play the plant right onto yellow to get that out of the way, maybe. He probably uses extension again because they're so open. He'll take his time with his opening shot.
That's clever, isn't it? Just a
Oh, he's keeping it.
and
The insurance of, I mean, you know he's gonna get the finish, but it's clever to put the red there
that
just in
extra
case you
1%,
have a kick or
yeah.
something did happen. It's just it's those little 1%ers, but he's not going to not get these, is he? In the form he's been in,
No, he's
his cue ball is first class, isn't it?
that's a nice shot.
Yep. And as we've mentioned before, it'd be the same pace that he takes out every other finish.
Won't take any liberties with
No. Yeah, I've been really impressed with. I mean, I hadn't seen Mark play a lot, obviously, because I've been coming from a World Rules background. I do watch the IPA when I can.
Yeah.
But in the events that I've seen him here, I've obviously played him twice.
Yeah.
And I've been very impressed with him. Obviously, it's, someone that's been at the top of the game as long as he has. It was obvious that he's a top player. Didn't need to see it to know, but you can certainly see why he wins what he does.
That's a good point that Plymouth Pool makes is if players in the grand final brought themselves in the Calcutta, there's less chance of chopping prize money in the final because they would already be on a portion of...
Yeah, or potentially, or it could work the other way. There might be more chance because they're ensuring a bigger payout, aren't they, by chopping up? I mean, if they stand to win 28 grand for winning a Calcutta, they can chop up for 20 grand each in the grand final, and they're insured 40 grand before.
That's a good point.
I mean, it can work both ways. I see the point that he's made, though. It can work that way, can it? It could certainly help.
Either way, it's exciting,
I'll be interested to know if people are chopping up the Calcutta as well, whether people are contacting each other before the final. I know Kevin Moyles didn't when he bought Gillespie. He won the full lot, but for argument's sake, whoever's bought Mick, if he's in the final, are they contacting whoever's bought the other guy to do a deal?
Could get quite messy, though. I know some people have gone into syndicates and they got 5, 6.
Yeah, and then it's difficult to make a deal, isn't it? When you split the money down like that.
So anyway, as we predicted, Mark has seemingly without any effort, he's just sort of gone about the table, about the clearances his way, and now he's on the hill. So, and bear in mind, Mark was 3-0 down in this match.
Yeah.
Tom went 3-0 up, so Mark's actually won 10 of the last 12
we'd have to pull a stat, but I would say he's probably 4 or 5 frames he's broken cleared Mark since that. Since
the British statistic.
Yeah, it's been ruthless pull. And obviously with Tom dry breaking 3 times as well, it's been very difficult for him. Yeah, back to the chat. I don't like to use the word fixing when it comes to making deals with prize money. I don't see that as fixing, so to speak. I think fixing, in my opinion, is having a bet on an outcome that you know is crooked.
Yeah, you're deliberately
losing to win a bet, sort of thing. I don't mind people splitting prize money when there's huge gaps, because at the end of the day, players are playing for prize money, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I understand the point that's being made. But I don't see it as fixing if you change the prize money from 50 grand the winner to I would say it will go off closer to 35 grand the winner, and possibly
Yeah.
15 grand runner up
Yeah.
would be something I'd expect that final to be.
I think that is. I think they are looking at the prize money structure for next year.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah,
It's about asking the players how they feel.
yeah,
I think I spoke to Lee for a fair few months about the series. His little dream, as it were, and ambition was to have the biggest pot, the biggest winners prize ever, and obviously people.
and I believe the biggest was 50, wasn't it, for the one frame?
Some people might remember there was the Puck Pool Challenge. It was called, where they had sort of like satellite events and literally just one frame matches, and the winner of that got 50 grand.
There was no runner-up prize, was there? I believe.
No.
It was just 50 grand winner takes
Yeah,
all, because I think Odie Bell got to the final, didn't he? I'm not sure who won it.
Well, I'd done an interview with the winner, Frankie Sargent. from
Frankie
Kent.
Sargent, that's correct. Wasn't he a county B team player or something
Kent
like that?
B team player.
Yeah.
And I'd done an interview with him for my blog, and he said that there was, I think it was 4 players left in. One was Oli Bale. I think one was Scott Ross.
Yep.
And somebody else. And he said that they all done a deal between themselves, but left him out because he wasn't like the same sort of caliber. And Frankie Sargent, he said to me, "I can guarantee you, I left the arena. I won 50 grand, kept it all myself. All the other
Wow.
players chopped up."
Yeah, because I remember hearing the stories of like they were all locked in a cage, or not locked in a cage, but they're in it.
There's coverage on YouTube actually of
Yeah.
like a few minutes of it, and yeah,
I've
people
seen the footage of him winning the frame.
Yeah.
But but back to the point that you're making, I remember Kenny himself saying he wanted to create the biggest, winners prize in pool history, which it will be down as that, won't it?
Yeah.
51 grand. But I do think, next year they might look to maybe spread that money over the events a bit more.
Yeah. Plymouth Pool, you're just saying he didn't mean it in that sense of fixing. He meant sort of dealing. So that's a fair shout.
Yeah.
So anyway, he had to turn that over, and
Yeah. I mean,
so a rare miss from Mark,
rare
even
miss.
though it had.
I know he's played so well, and he's got a very comfortable lead at the minute. But as we know in this game, it can swing so quickly.
Yeah.
Because with how strong Tom's break can be, it hasn't been in this match, but it is such a huge weapon that if it did get going, Mark may not get another chance to win the match.
Yeah. Unfortunately for him, it's been nullified this match,
Yes,
hasn't it?
yes.
He's had so many dry breaks. I think what's interesting is Plymouth Pool again. Then make good points about sort of like betting and how when there's betting in sport, there could be things going on. But I think the difference with this series is because there's so much prize money anyway for the players. There's the incentive is there already with the prize money.
Yeah.
So whereas people might give odds for like say a local club tournament, that's going to be surely more open to issues because it's less prize money anyway.
Definitely.
But everyone sort of makes a good point in the chat box and everything. But one thing Mick Hill was saying yesterday, in his interview, that's a nice shot from Tom. One thing Mick Hill was saying yesterday in an interview, he said this series is different to like a hotel, and he wasn't belittling events that are played in hotels, but he said this series is different because players are staying in the venue.
Yeah.
Whereas like a hotel event, you might go up to your room and chill out until your next game.
Yeah.
He said everybody's watching. You've got the betting going on.
Yeah.
There's a great atmosphere. You've got it's different.
Do you know what? At the start, I was hoping it would move to a hotel, as in terms of bigger playing area.
Yeah.
But as this event has gone on, for those points you've just made, I prefer it to stay here.
Yeah.
For that reason alone. When Jed puts the prices up, you've got a
it's
queue of
brilliant,
40,
isn't it?
50
It's
blokes
brilliant,
queuing up to all get their
it's
bets
brilliant,
on.
it's fantastic.
It's absolutely incredible.
Everybody's waiting that.
Yeah, and obviously you do generally get more people. When matches get to their conclusion, you end up with a lot of people around
drift
watching
over
your
to
game.
the tables, yeah.
I
We've seen it
remember-
last few nights, haven't we?
Yes, and those games late at night, you know, as a player, you don't want to be playing at 10 o'clock at night. But
Yeah.
when you're involved and you're playing and you win,
Yeah.
there's so many people around watching it. It's one of the best
Yeah.
feelings you'll get while you're playing.
And you've got a really good sort of view of the tables
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
generally, haven't you? Whereas perhaps if you play in a really big square arena and if you're right in the corner, it's very
Yeah.
difficult to
And
you know.
you know, I mean, I can't speak for the IPA tour because I've not been on it, but I've been to UK tours, and by the end of it, you know, there's not many people there because everyone's starting to make their way home in a big, wide open
That's
hotel.
always a disappointment with the sort of like hotel events
Yeah.
where that happens. But as you can see, sort of in the background there, we've you know we've got people sort of watching this. The other room's full as well,
Yeah.
so it's a really good sort of buzz and atmosphere. Like you say, you know, generally this time on a Sunday at hotel events, a lot of people have
Yeah.
gone home. So, but again, I'm not belittling the hotel.
No,
I'm
no,
just saying
no,
how
of
it's
course.
different.
Yeah.
So.
Drew Hughes is 10-5 up now on Adam
Yeah,
Davis.
so
Max is 8-7 up on Jimmy Croxton. Phil's taking a bit of a lead now. He's 8-5 up on Neil Raybo. And then we've given you results of the other games, as you already are aware. But if you've just tuned in, Jack Whelan beat Yannick 11-3. Sean Chipperfield beat Gareth Hibbett 11-4. Mick Hill beat Craig Lakin 11-8. And Craig Marsh beat Rob Warren 11-4. So Craig Marsh will be awaiting the winner of this tie. And we've got Sean Chipperfield's got Mick Hill in the quarterfinals. Jack Whelan will play the winner of Max Nosko and Jimmy Croxton. And the winner of the Drew Hughes Adam Davis tie plays the winner of the Neil Raybo Phil Harrison tie. So back to the game. I didn't see that shot because I was doing the scores. Was it a kick or a miss?
No, it was a miss, I believe. He just played a little like little plant.
Plant, he's missed and left open table yellows.
I believe so, yeah.
You certainly expect Tom to get these, wouldn't you? With his break next, he can very quickly get back into this. I know it is a tough ask to win sort of 6 frames in a row against someone of Mark's caliber, but
All you can do is just go one frame at a time.
Yeah.
The old saying.
The old adage.
Yeah, sorry, Mark Clifford saying it was just bad, but it's not a plant. I accidentally said plant for some reason. I think it's good as well. We've seen players, you know, travelling to these events. Well, we've seen the French boys, the Moroccan boys, Maltese boys. I mean, we had Jake McCartney from Australia at the last event. So quite clearly, this is drawing in players from the international aspect of things.
I'm not sure. Did Jason Shaw, is he coming from America, or was he back living in Scotland?
Lee said to me yesterday that he's travelling back from America. I don't know if he's, you know, whilst he's over here, he's doing other things as well.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Oh, that's a bit disappointed with that one.
Yeah, and did he need to play that? Could he have not just potted the ball clean? And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not one to judge Tom's shot selection with what he's done in the game.
He's so disappointed, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's not left anything easy, though, is he, to get Mark going? Not actually sure red even pots.
I mean, obviously, there's always potential for skill shot, you know, one ball after the other, but
is he going to play safety here?
10 seconds.
Or is he playing a thin cut and move the yellow as well?
Extension called.
It'll be interesting to see what he decides here, 'cause this is not easy at all.
So the fifth player through is Drew Hughes. Drew Hughes has he's won 11-5 against Adam Davis, so that's a fantastic win.
Yeah, not meaning that to sound disrespectful at all, but he's certainly the surprise package of the quarterfinals, isn't he?
Max Nosko 9-7 up on Jimmy Croxton now. Phil Harrison's opened up an advantage over Neil Rayburn. Is now 9-5 up. Phil Harrison wins this event with, you know, after losing his opening round fixture and looking at the people he's played, if he was to win this event, that could be arguably the greatest tournament victory in terms of players he's had to beat and how he's done it.
Yeah, because, I mean, to come, so from here, well, he will have Drew Hughes if he wins.
Okay,
Which
well,
on paper,
he's going to start
that's probably going to be the most odds on he will have been in the bookies to win a match in his last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, with no
disrespect meant to Drew at all, because Drew's more than capable of beating him as he's shown this weekend so far.
But yeah, if Phil does win this event, that possibly will be.
Certainly one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet on the pool scene as well.
Phil's just an absolute
Yep.
Back when I was playing sort of like tours, when sort of everybody was sort of together, I mean, I might have said hello to Phil once, and then he sort of remembered that forever. He'd see each other down like a corridor and be like, all right, mate, and then shake hands. It's just incredible.
Yeah. It's funny because he's the opposite to play against with his demeanours and stuff. You know, he lands perfect on a ball and shakes his head and you think he's not on it. But, yeah, away from the table, the nicest guy you ever meet.
He's diamond. Oh, yeah, Plymouth Pool says that about, would love to see Phil winning. Yeah, he is. Old gentleman, fantastic bloke. Although the person he's playing is a gentleman as well, Neil Rayburn.
Yep.
There'll be no quitting him either. Even though he's 4 down, he'll.
20 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2.
This would be some finish, by the way, if he got these.
Yeah, because he played a fantastic shot previously to knock Tom's yellow in. Dave just asking why the umpire or referee is counting down. That's been happening all weekend for the stream table, Dave. So players have 45 seconds a shot. At 10 seconds, they're warned that they have 10 seconds, but from 5, there's a countdown that the referee actually shouts out. Yeah, nice shot.
This would be a very rude finish to win the match.
It would be, I mean.
Not sure when he came to the table I even envisaged him going for the finish from where the balls were, but 3 shots later and all of a sudden...
Yeah, a few people saying about the referees, like saying 5, 4, 3 and all that. We I think there isn't like a physical sort of stop clock in the arena. I think it's obviously to let the players and supporters know sort of how long there is left. He's had a bit of a contact.
He's had a kick there, isn't he? Because the white has stopped dead in his
up,
tracks. Yeah. So he's still going to have to play 2 more good shots at least. Not sure if he can play the double now and go up and down to play for the red down the row. It'll be whatever his preference is.
That's
that would be what I'd like to play here if it was on.
Yeah. Which would you prefer if you got 5 seconds left? The peeps that you sometimes get. Like
Yeah.
The referee.
Well, yeah, it's a fair one, isn't it?
Please play the cross double. Oh, he's got it. Well. Although he's going to have to play another fairly cool one here.
I mean, it obviously stating the obvious, but he just needs to put all of it into the pot now because he's going to be on the black, isn't he? As long as he's not going to hit this slow and snooker himself.
No.
So he needs to just give everything he can. I imagine we'll see him keep his head still on this shot as well. His trademark in this match so far, isn't it? On the big shots, he's kept still.
Yeah, very, very steady. Oh, wow. It's surprising.
Yeah.
Surprising with what we've seen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know he's cannon the yellow, and we're not sure whether he meant to do it, but I don't think he needed to go near the yellow, did he? If he just concentrated on potting the ball. But
Yeah, wow, this is an unexpected gift for Tom, so...
Tom's break next. He can very quickly swing the pressure of this match, can't he?
Yeah, well, it can, and... So the match lives on, and Tom reduces his risk to 10-7.
As you can see on the stream, we're getting a fairly decent crowd in here now for this game. It's filling up. About. And that can bring a whole new pressure in itself, can it? If you start to miss a ball too, or miss your chance.
Yeah.
But that was by no means easy. To even get to his last ball from that finish was incredible in itself, wasn't it?
Yeah, would have been
where he came to the table.
It would have been a terrific finish had he got it. So Max Nosko over on table 5. He's on the hill. He's 10-7 up. Phil Harrison now 9-6 up. And obviously we've got this this table. So currently there's still three tables in action. Just to remind you, the 5 people who've booked places into the quarterfinals are Craig Marsh, Mick Hill, Sean Chipperfield, Drew Hughes, Jack Whelan, and we can actually confirm that Max Nosko has just got the job done over Jimmy Croxton. So that's a great win for Max there, and he's also into the quarterfinals. So we now know 6 of the 8 people who will be contesting the £13,000 first prize. 2 more games currently in action. The one we're watching here. And Neil Rayburn and Phil Harrison over on table 15. So can Tom was 10-5 down, it's now 10-7. Can he prolong?
He was nearly an off there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What's your preference here, Mike?
Well, you'd love to go for I just want to see the referee move. Wow.
If the red at the back of the black goes in that pocket where he's eyeing up, then he'll be red.
Oh, it's definitely all day long.
Because he'll play the red in the middle, past the yellow.
Just come around a little bit there. It might. I don't know. It's tight, isn't it?
It's tight. But if he was to play yellows, then he's going to have to play a cannon on those 2.
You know, I think it might actually if he got on the white in a very precise area.
So he's now looking at yellows. He's going to play the plant to leave the gap for the yellow in the middle by the looks of it. And from that, he might cannon into the 2 yellows that are stuck together. He might have the natural angle to do that from that shot. But we'll have to just wait and see what he chooses.
Yeah, he obviously feels that, you know, either it doesn't go or, you know, the chances of him getting on it are slim. So. So no, he's changed his mind again. So he's back to red. That's a nice shot.
Yeah.
Let's get inside. So obviously he feels that it does go.
Or it might go in the middle.
Yeah.
Behind the black. I mean, I don't think he's come around and looked at that yet. But it certainly could go in there. It does go in there, as you can see from this camera angle. He's had a kick there.
A little heavy there, isn't it? Yeah.
So he might maybe now be playing for the reds into the middle, possibly from here.
It looks like he's got too much angle to do what he initially wanted to do.
He's overhit that, isn't he? Not. But then we don't know that this red behind the black, it may go in the corner.
Yeah, sometimes the camera's deceiving
from a certain spot.
Yeah, as long as he's on that line or around that sort of parallel, but he has got a fair bit of angle on this red, I think. So if he is going to keep it there, I think he can dig down in it though, can't he? He can dig into it.
Maybe screw towards the rail.
Yeah, he'll probably use the rail here, I should think. Yeah, so now the question is he...
That looks tight, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's down quite quickly. Yeah, you can see the referee there.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
So a good finish. He overcome a couple of,
Yeah.
of obstacles that he would have preferred not to have had. But he's well, he's halfway there. He needed 6. He's now got 3. So. And now the pressure's just going to mount a little bit more on Marc, isn't it? Thinking.
Because I'm also struggling to remember Marc dry breaking in the match, other than his first break of the match.
Yeah.
So you're almost wondering if that time is due to come for him. And
exactly, the peaks and troughs.
you know, the time you really don't want it.
So there we see the tab. Each table's got a tab where the players update the scores in between frames. You also see the ball markers underneath the players' names there. That's the referee's system of whether or not the players have had their extension. So as we say, each player is permitted to have a 30-second extension, each frame.
Marc Farnsworth to break.
And that's how the referee sort of just remembers that they've had their extension. So it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's Marc's break. So he would have 2 breaks if it were to go to a decider. So he's hoping it's his last break of the match.
Certainly a big break.
Oh, wow. Well,
and nothing tied up either. So it's just going to be maybe 1, 2 tidy positional shots, making sure he gets his cue ball tight, and this is his chance to win the match and book his spot in the quarterfinals, which you would have to say he thoroughly deserves on this performance.
Yeah, you would have to say that.
Although Tom hasn't done a lot wrong, he's probably just made 1 or 2 errors, but Marc's probably missed 1 ball, and that's about all I can remember, and that was the ball in the last frame.
Yeah. Neil Raybone's pulled one back against Phil Harrison. He's now only 9-7 down.
Yeah, Neil's a fighter, isn't he? He won't be giving up just yet.
Extension called.
I would say it's probably the 6th or 7th example of what you mentioned earlier about using the extension from the very first shot after the break, isn't it?
Yeah.
At least. Seems to be the trend of what these top players are doing.
Yeah, so there we see, because Marc's uses extension, they put the ball marker down.
Mm-hmm. This is his big chance. This is a much better chance than the last frame, isn't it? The last frame he was always chasing a difficult finish with what he went for, but
yeah,
this is a genuine opportunity.
just come back up to the business end of the table.
That's pretty much where he was queuing up, wasn't it, before, when he was imagining where he wanted to put the cue ball. Yeah, Neil, you are right. Marc has missed 2 balls in the last 3 frames. I forgot about the ball he missed with the open table at 10-5 or 10-6. But yeah, he's certainly not done a lot wrong other than that. But I think mistakes get magnified more towards the end of the match, don't they? Because they seem to, obviously, they mean a lot more.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, could have been better.
Yeah. I guess that's part of why he doesn't like to play too many cannons, isn't it? Because you can't be sure of where the cue ball's going to finish.
somebody said about that their question got ignored. Apologise that if you asked a question, then we've got a number of sort of chat boxes we need to keep up to date with. Obviously, the action itself as well and the results. So if you want to send it back in, hopefully we'll get a chance to answer it this time.
5, 4, 3.
It's a good shot.
Yeah. Use the black just to keep it in
To
play.
play another good shot here.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, I don't know if it's natural just to pot this ball and leave the gap, but
It's just a bit fiddly, isn't
Yeah.
it? These 3 reds there. You just got to be quite accurate. Well, it's a good pot.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's on the red again though.
Is he going to have to play this slow, perhaps kiss into the yellow and leave the red long?
Leave it long, but then
From there, it doesn't look nice, does it?
and then that might be a problem if he's not got the right angle on the red.
Yeah.
So this isn't easy at all.
No.
Although saying that, if he did have an angle on the red where he's going to the yellow, he'd probably back himself potting
Pot in the long black.
luck anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just thinking he might want it as simple as he can, especially being so the winning frame. But we'll see how he feels.
10 seconds. 5.
Yeah, so he's played your shot, Mike, and
Yeah, but this is not easy. Like you said, he's going to play a good shot to have to play another good shot, isn't he? Which brings
Yeah.
a certain pressure anyway, because he can't get good on this black, I don't think. I don't think he can run through off the yellow and get close to it. I think he's just got to pot the red here and
yeah, he's just
leave
got
the
to leave
white
himself
almost where
a
the yellow
shot,
is
hasn't
and
he?
leave a shot, yeah.
10 seconds.
He's playing at the other corner, look.
Wow.
What a shot that is.
Well
What
done.
a shot that is.
Fantastic shot there from Marc Farnsworth.
Well, that's how you get good on the black.
Well, that's an amazing shot. So this black then, after a little scare, a little blip with Tom Cousins coming back, and I think that victory meant quite a lot to Mark. Obviously, besides keeping him in the tournament, keeping him, keeping his hopes alive. So Marc Farnsworth is our 7th player through to the quarterfinals of the Supreme Masters. We have one more game remaining. That's in the other arena. It's actually Tom Cousins is 10. Phil Harrison is 10-7 up near Rayburn. I think we're going to have a quick interview with Marc Farnsworth about how he felt about that in the interview room with Lee Kendall and myself. I'd like to thank Mike King for coming to the box. Really enjoyed that. That was fantastic.
Thanks, mate. Been a pleasure.
Have a safe journey home. And like I say, if you want to hold on for a few minutes, I think we're going to have an interview with Marc Farnsworth. So stay tuned.
Right, we just had a great match in the arena, probably the match of the round with Mark. Again, Mike was commentating. I think that was definitely the one to put on, and a great win for you, Mark.
Yeah, delighted. I've been struggling the last few weeks. I felt as though I played pretty well against Jordan last night. So obviously drawing Tom in the last 16 was a tough draw, but I was really looking forward to the match. Got off to a terrible start, 3 frames down without really doing much wrong. Still felt confident, even 3-0 down. Thought if I get chances to try and take them. Unfortunately enough, I got a few chances to get a big lead. Then he came back at us. I'm just pleased to get over the line.
You had a chance to win it in the frame before, didn't you? You rattled the red and you must.
Yeah, I felt as if I felt really comfortable on the finish. I just couldn't get the white exactly where I wanted. I felt as if I was chasing a little bit, and then I had the massive kick on the first yellow to break, the time before I broke. I just felt as if it was slipping, well, not slipping away because I still had a big lead, but you just want to get your hand on the table to have a chance.
And what was your thoughts on it, Mike?
Just very, very slow from 3-0 down. I mean, you were so solid, and I mean, you've come back really well with that fantastic shot at the end there to pop your last ball and then come perfect on the black. It was brilliant, especially with what happened in the frame before.
I think all through that finish, I just couldn't get it. It was a tricky finish. I had a couple of awkward balls, and one of them when I kicked the ball out halfway through, I didn't really have any idea where I was going. I just had to try and get into it, and plus with the time as well, you've got to get on with it a little bit. So I was relying to look a little bit on that shot, and fortunately I still had a shot. It still felt a bit tricky every ball, and then the last ball, it was to take it into the normal pocket of the left corner. I couldn't keep away from his yellow, so I would have had to play it like dead weight, and I thought I'll take it on the opposite side, knowing fine when I was going to be on the black, and just
There's a big pressure shot and
just try and put the ball, So.
And do you think there was any extra pressure on the match? Because I know there's been talk around social media that you could possibly play in Tom in the money match. Was it in your mind, anything about that?
There's loads of needle and stuff like that. I've got a lot of respect for Tom. I played a few years ago and he beat us. Obviously, it was a great match. But a lot of it's just social media and all that. I've got a lot of respect for the game, for the way he plays the game. But there's always going to be banter, which is good.
Definitely. Well, congratulations, you're through to the next round, and your opponent's just on the right hand side here, and you had a good win over Rob Bourne, Craig.
Yeah, I played alright, to be fair. He struggled a bit. He gave me a few chances where he's sort of losing the white a lot, but I'm happy to win. Just keep motoring on and on to the next one now, Ginsberg.
So head to heads, are they close or
I'm
don't?
not really sure. Pretty much close. Yeah, so. It'll be a good game, I'm sure.
I'm sure it'll be close in the betting wise, probably an even match, so good luck guys.
Thank you.
And we'll see you shortly, we'll pick the matches.
Thank you.
Okay, we have got all the players that are currently available, so the next two will come through will be, Mick, and we'll have Mr Chipperfield. This will be a slow match, won't it? Great tournament for you guys, through to the last 8 now. What's your thoughts on it so far? And ultimately, you're going to play each other.
Go on, Sean.
He's let you in there.
Yeah, I don't actually think we've played that much because Sean coming from snooker and me sort of probably toning the tournaments down over the last 3 or 4 years compared to what I was doing before. So we haven't really crossed paths. I first come across Sean when I was going down to Norwich a little bit. Friend of mine had a hotel down there, and I was going down there and spending a bit of time, and Sean had sort of just was playing snooker and then come to the pool. So we get on pretty well, don't we? We've always sort of got on. There's none of that sort of going on in this match. So I guess it's just a kind of a little bit of a see what happens. We don't really know it, I guess. So.
And your thoughts on certainly your last match, you won well, didn't you? Match?
I played well all tournament, really. I'm surprised myself, not really put much effort in. Just come here just to let my arm go and just working at the minute. So, but obviously this is a next step up.
Yeah, I mean, with the standard of plays in the tournament, we both know that there's lots of different series and tours you can go on, but now there's nowhere to hide. You've got to come in, whether you play yourself, play Mick, and we've just seen 2 of the greats there playing. This is what you want to test yourselves.
Definitely, yeah. I really like the rules. I think these rules probably suit me better than wild rules, to be honest. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Just looking forward to the game, really.
Okay, well thanks guys, we'll see you shortly, and we'll get the next 2 in. Good luck.
Cheers.
Jack? What is your opponent? Who have you?
Max.
Max, all right. We're still waiting for Max, so as live goes.
Yeah.
How do you, I know you just had a good win there against Yannick. How did that match go for you?
Yeah, I played all right. It was I put him under pressure early, and I got a few rolls early in the middle of the game, and I capitalised on it. I won like 6 frames in the middle of the match, and it sort of like put the game to bed a little bit. But you still have to obviously get over the line against the players that of this calibre, because obviously they're all good and they can get their way back into it, and any mistake they can capitalise on it.
Yeah, you've got to stay strong, and you have done so far.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'll be strong again, because you've probably got Max, who's just beat. Has he finished with you?
He just beat James. Yeah.
Hopefully he'll come running in a minute, but doubtful. Okay, well, Phil's just joined us as well. Okay, come in, Drew. Squeeze along. Not quite as planned. Phil's on the hard stuff. Again, Phil, you've come through a terrible section of the draw after losing your first match. You must be chuffed to get through to the quarters.
I'm knackered. But yeah, it'd be a tough draw, but I love it. So yeah, just keep going and yeah.
So who do you play next?
I've no idea, man.
Oh, I shouldn't try that, because you never know, do you?
I think Drew
Oh,
plays.
you play each other.
Drew
knows he's got you. But Drew, in your match, you've just beat former world champion Adam Davies, who's had a good tournament himself, so you must be pleased with that
Yeah,
one.
playing real well this weekend. Makes a change. Been awful for the last 3-4 years. But yeah, really happy.
And have you? We haven't seen much of you on the stream. There's been a couple of ones where you've been on the side streams, but not in the main arena. How have you found it?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, tables are running well. So yeah.
So you're going to take him out?
We'll see. Before we get on the table.
Okay, well, thanks for coming, guys. I'm sure people out there want to see you guys and have interviews and just find a little bit about yourselves. So good luck. One of you may be the winner and take home £13,000. Thanks, Mike, again for the comms. And we will be live again in a few minutes when I've chosen which match to put on. We haven't quite done that yet. Thanks very much.